Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. My apologies. No intro tonight. That is all on me. We were just a little late getting the information over to Ivan. So, my apologies, but I'll have one for you next week. Don't worry. But it's Tuesday night's main event. We're live and we're here to talk about a lot of nonsense going on. We've got a special guest here. We've actually got one of the newer members of Geeks and Gamers is here, Mr. Disparu, to make it sound like we actually are true gamers. Every time he talks, he just sounds like a gamer. But yeah, so we're here. Ryan from RK Outpost, Mr. 90,000 subs. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing all right. I'm enjoying it while I can because I feel like YouTube just about shifted the algorithm overnight. Just feels like something happened. Just too many good things were going on. So, Susan's got to do something for coming up for us for Christmas. So we appreciate it. But I'm excited to be here. It's good to talk to Upper Echelon again. It's been too long. So we're excited to have him back on the channel and talk about a bunch of bullshit like we always do.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, and as far as that algorithm switch, I'm feeling it. My gosh, nothing's hitting on D-Day Cobra right now. The 3 videos, none of them. Brie Larson. I'm gonna start making some more Brie Larson videos if this keeps up. But Young Ripa, Eric July, you having some fun with those Miles Morales fans?
Yeah,
on
that's always fun. It's been a story of my, I guess life for the last few days is dunking on them. That's always fun. I guess that happens like every 3 months or something. I go through a spell where I'm going back and forth with fucking retarded Miles Morales fans. I use that term loosely because none of them buy their fucking books, his fucking books. But yeah, I've been just grinding it out per usual with this book. You know what I mean? And as of today, I already announced I'm going to be working on it, talking about the Miles Morales stuff. Kind of akin to what I did with my Justice League video, kind of this long form video and breakdown. I'm going to do one regarding Miles Morales and Peter Parker and how and just proving with the absolute evidence that isn't refutable, as in it's not up for dispute, that he is just black or half black Peter Parker with a fucking table fate, and that's all he'll fucking ever be, and that's all he ever was in the books. So yeah, we'll be talking about that. That's going to be fun because the Jimmys will be rustled certainly once that gets out there. But I've been having a fucking blast, man, in my own creation. The juices are really flowing, man, and hopefully we can this week, this month, off strong, because I think we're all feeling like algorithm fucking changes or something like that.
Yep.
And whatever happens. YouTube gonna YouTube.
Yep, I heard that. And, I noticed Ripa, he didn't want to touch on the fact that I pretty much waxed his ass in Mario Kart. He didn't want to talk about it. I gave him the final win. I gave him the final win just to make him feel good about himself.
No. I just got warmed up, and there we go. Warm, damn fast. Got warmed up, and then we was good to go after that.
I see something in the comments, and I think this is a very serious topic. I think we should highlight this. John B says 2 black guys beat him up, yelling, "This is Biden country." Damn.
Two black guys beat him up in Dallas, Texas, and said, "This is Biden country." I heard it. I believe you. He was just going to get Whataburger.
3 a.m.
Yeah,
2
man.
3 a.m.
So for the first time on Tuesday night's main event, he's been with us for a while, making a lot of gaming videos, making far better content than me or Ryan. Disparu, how are you, Disparu?
Hello, I am very happy to be here. This is my best day of the week, favorite one, because it's about as far away as I can get from Fridays when Wheel of Time is released, so I get to avoid the poison. Also woke up today to just see Twitter on fire due to Twitch, which is always very interesting. Twitch is literally the only platform which has rules, and you're just like, I don't know whether they're going to enforce them today or they're just going to change them tomorrow and not tell anybody. So I always like the drama and just the randomness of it all, so looking forward to talk about that.
I heard that. Well, it's good to have you here, buddy. And Krista Nova in the house. Hello, Beep. How are you?
Hello. Merry Christmas, everybody. I have to say it. I'm sorry. I didn't say it last week, but happy Christmas. Yes.
Happy Christmas. I did show everyone your based tweet that you made that really got a lot of traction, and a lot of people seem to enjoy that one. So I'm going to show the audience before we introduce our amazing guest, because Krista Ryan has radicalized Krista. That is that's essentially the only excuse here, and Ryan will take full credit for it for sure. But
It
right
was either
here,
me or Chick-fil-A. Both of
Yeah.
us have been accused of homophobia, so it's tough to tell.
So here's the tweet in question. So Krista said Kyle Rittenhouse is free and Jesse Smollett is found guilty. Merry Christmas, everyone. And someone says, and she says, a happy new year. Like, that is beautiful right there.
Nice.
So that is that's the radicalization of Geeks and Gamers. We have corrupted a innocent young Canadian girl that loves chicken nuggets, and now she's just a savage on Twitter.
She should have just replied with the picture of her in the MAGA hat.
Yeah, man, that would have really made him mad. All right, and for the first time in a long time, and it's a pleasure to have someone that makes far better content than me and Ryan, which again, that's not really something that's surprising. We say that every week about almost everyone that comes on the show.
And we're not being
Echelon,
hyperbolic, it's just accurate.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's just accurate. Upper Echelon Gaming, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. It's a pleasure to be here again. Happy holidays to everyone watching and on the panel. Yeah, it's good to be here. It's been a long time and happy to get into it. It's just funny.
Yeah.
I was covering a few things that are relevant for today, so it seemed like it synced up really nicely. I'm excited.
Yeah, totally. And speaking of that, I'm going to toss it over to Ryan. We're going to jump right into this Star Wars Eclipse drama that's going on, which I am not fully caught up on this yet, but Ryan's going to prep everyone, and then we're going to have a discussion about it because it's Star Wars, and when you pander to social justice, this is what happens.
Yeah, it's never enough. It's never enough to insert every different type of person into your media. It doesn't matter how many gay or trans or non-binary people you put into a book or a comic book or whatever. All of a sudden, the wrong company is making a Star Wars game that's set in the High Republic era, which is pretty much only consumed by woke losers, to be quite honest with you. But they're not happy about Quantic Dream making Star Wars Eclipse. And they never were. These people have actually been talking about this for months. It's just kind of under the radar because we didn't have a big game announcement. But now that we did have Star Wars Eclipse coming out, we're seeing headlines like this from Bounding Into Comics. Hashtag Blackout Star Wars Eclipse boycott launched in protest of developer Quantic Dream and CEO David Cage's involvement with Star Wars Eclipse. And a lot of people, you may not really understand what's going on because it's at the end of the day, it's really not that big of a deal. Quantic Dream is a company that's made, most recently, I think they're probably most well known for Detroit Become Human. And there's some allegations out there, the same type of allegations that we hear about virtually every big gaming company right now. Oh, it's a toxic work environment. It's a boys club, things like that. Specifically, David Cage has been accused of saying two things. We got to find these quotes here. We got to find these quotes because they're interesting. He's been... let's see. They allege that Quantic Dream was rife with general harassment and unsavory behavior, including the photoshopping of various employees into inappropriate situations. Heaven forbid memes get made.
So it's literally that's memes. That's
memes.
That's a very try to make it seem offensive way to say memes. Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
The making of racist and sexist jokes and Cage's own assertions that in my games, all women are whores. And at Quantic Dream, we do not make games for F-slurs. And now there's been media reports on this. They actually filed lawsuits of defamation against those people. They've won some of them. They've lost some of them. I know Upper Echelon has been looking into this very recently. What's your take on this whole situation, man?
Well, the funniest thing to me is that the one that they lost, I think the most high-profile one that they lost, which concerned those quotes, just this year got overturned in a French appellate court. So now it got reversed. So talking about like innocent until proven guilty or guilty in a court of law or guilty in the court of public opinion, I try to, I guess, go by that. And if there was enough verifiable objective evidence for the court to overturn it, then I don't know. I think they make good games, so I'm not really going to be mad that Quantic Dream is making a Star Wars game. So people want to complain about stuff is what it seems like to me. Hard to take it seriously, yeah. The
crazy part to me is Detroit Become Human is not some like red-pilled game. Like it's a game. You have an option in there. You can, as a male, I forget what they call them, cyborg or robot or whatever they are, you can choose to take a female stripper or a male stripper into the back room with you. Like you have that option. It is literally, you can play however you want. It's kind of a progressive game in all reality. And the fact that they don't even know that because these people don't play games. They really don't.
There was none of the like objection that I'm hearing right now for this trailer voiced over Detroit Become Human, right? So if Star Wars Eclipse were to come out and be in that same vein, right? Like I thought it was a visually stunning game. I thought it had some really good development choices. Quantic, I don't know. I feel like they make good games, right? So it's very hard because like you said, a lot of the people that have the largest objections, I saw this really funny comic about it recently. It was like, I've made the thing that you like, and some person was on a megaphone saying, I hate the thing, change the thing, and then everybody leaves, and they're like, oh, I don't actually want to buy the thing, bye-bye. So these people don't want to get it. Like, they don't want to, they're not in it for the right reasons. They're in it to change something that they find objectionable for isolated reasons that are not relevant to the actual hobby.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And here's some of the reaction from every single person without fail that's upset about this has pronouns in their bio. That is, those are the people. Again, Disney, Lucasfilm, you have been trying to appease these people for so long, but it doesn't matter because one person that you work with that they don't like, just because of allegations that haven't been proven in any way, shape, or form, just because of that, no. Hashtag blackout Star Wars Eclipse because basic human rights are more important than having that studio make this damn game. Look at you, Lucasfilm Limited. We want a new Star Wars game, but not one made by a studio with a history of misogyny and racism in their games, a toxic workplace, and a CEO with no respect for women and LGBTQ plus folks. It sounds like they're trying to get me to buy this game now. But it's on and on and on. This guy, that gay Jedi. I mean, how do you build your personality around that, man? I don't know. But that's what this backlash is all about. Again, it's been brewing for a while. I saw when they announced that when the rumor was out there that Quantic Dream was doing it, they started it. That's when all of this started. It was just ready to go as soon as Eclipse got announced.
But
go ahead, Disbrew. Go ahead.
What always amazes me about this is it was the same with Activision. It's like this place is horrible for certain people. You've got all these people that are getting attacked, and it's horrible to work there, and they're just being targeted. And you're like, well, okay, what's your solution? And their solution is we need to hire more of these people. I'm like, well, if it's so bad for them to work there, why do you want to subject more people to that environment? It doesn't make any sense. It was like, and Twitch had a thing, and they were like, oh, people are coming into our chats to abuse us. It's like, well, what's your solution? Well, they need to give us a bigger cut of subscriptions. I'm sorry, how is that solving your problem? And it makes me think with it, because I had a massive issue with this, but it was about the actual game. It was literally, you showed us a trailer, which showed us no gameplay. There's nothing about it. Like, all I learned from the trailer is this is Star Wars. And then they said, actually, it's not going to be out for 4 years. And so I didn't know anything that you just mentioned, but now I'm wondering if it's actually released, like announced early deliberately to get all of this out of the way. And so in 4 years, no one will care because it'll just be old news. And it's like, really, how are you going to stage a boycott for 4 years and keep up any kind of sense of momentum around it?
That's true. I mean, momentum dissipates so quickly that it's going to be gone within 3 months possibly, right? Let alone a year, 2, 3. So you're right. That could be a pretty like big brain tactic if they were dissipating every single shred of the backlash with no chance it would ever affect sales or marketing or anything.
Yeah, I mean, this is something we've seen so many times, and it's taken over every industry. You know, again, fans are always going to be opinionated on things. That's the nature of fandom. Fans are always going to have opinions, but when you have people that are digging into like personal history of people that are like, oh, I don't want this person making this game because they said something I didn't like, or they have a view I didn't like, or they voted for that is not a fan talking like that. Fans truly don't give a shit about people's personal lives and their personal anything outside of them unless they're like a murderer or something like that, which is not something that it's just insane that we continue to deal with this and these companies continue to pander to these types of people. But
do you think this will work? Do you think like this will actually have an effect? It reminds me of Troy Levitt and what he's ousted. Basically, he quit after they targeted him over Harry Potter. So do you think it'll work? Like, what do you think the future looks like for him?
I with Lucasfilm, you never know. Go ahead, Ryan, though.
I don't think so.
You're plugged into this story a little more, but like, we'll have some Gina Carano. I never thought they'd fire Gina Carano.
There is a gross misconception from a lot of people about how Star Wars games work right now. Now that like this direct partnership with EA is out the window, it's like anybody can come to Lucasfilm and make a Star Wars game. Like they have so many different things in the works now that they've got their Lucasfilm games, aspect that they're doing now. like it's not like Disney went out and hired these people specifically, or Lucasfilm went out and hired this guy specifically. They got a pitch from a company, they signed off on it, and they're developing a game. And this guy's so far survived quite a bit at Quantum Dream. I don't think he's going anywhere, mostly because I don't think these people have the power to do anything at all. They're just not that impactful. They don't buy anything, which is why the High Republic, is so shit. Yeah, that's why the numbers for that, after that big first week that they tried to pretend that they were happy about, it absolutely fell off a cliff, because the people that you're targeting this towards, they don't buy shit. Ripa knows that in comics.
Talk about this all the time with comic books, man. They don't buy shit. And it's not like we're not talking opinions here, man. They literally do not buy the product. What they will do is signal. Any event that they can signal, they'll do that all day long. They'll virtue signal, hey, look at me, I'm good, you're bad, on the internet. But ultimately, what it comes down to, if it's definitely outside of a movie, because movie it's a normie medium, you know what I mean? It's easy to digest, easy to consume. You don't have to be the smartest person in the world to understand it. Definitely in this sort of space. So, they'll generally watch it, but they're flaky. But when it comes to books, games, and all of that shit, often these guys don't buy shit. Again, we see this with Miles Morales on the different subject matter, but the same subject matter. We see it with Miles Morales, and those guys don't buy those books. Again, not my opinion. You can go look when we had the accurate data before, the kind of diamond situation happened and all of that. Miles, I looked it up myself. He had the 68th selling book. Fucking character that fucking popular. You think he'd be way fucking up on that list? He's getting beat by fucking characters I ain't even fucking heard of for obscure fucking comic books. Not even in the bit two. He's getting his ass kicked. Man, if all of those guys who quote tweet me or Jeremy or Yellow Flash were so big of fans, man, those books would be doing way better than what the fuck they're doing in those little shitty 25,000 copies that they sold, which probably they didn't sell anyway. It fucking ended up in a school or a library or some shit, and that's how they got purchased. But unfortunately, that's where media is at right now. They are hard committed on appealing to that demographic of unreliable customers. Is more so what it is. And Star Wars has this problem, Marvel has this problem, DC has this problem where you may hit it with a movie or so, but for the most part, it's not going to work. So why on earth would you try to tailor make or cave into the demands of such an obscure audience of people who are just loud on fucking social media, and that's about it. Outside of that, they're not going to be lining up to play your game or buy your book or anything like that.
Yeah. I think the fact that this Quantic Dream is based in France as well, I think that's a little bit different as well than a American-based company. I don't think a ton of people are going to be super upset about a slur or the specific slur that's being accused in France. I just don't, and I think it's going to continue to blow over, especially with a release date 3 to 4 years down the line.
That is a good point about the release date being that far out. So maybe that's like Disparu talked about, maybe that's a strategic on their part. I just want to mention too, we are dual streaming on Odyssey tonight as we did last week. So you guys are welcome to watch on either platform. Shout out to Odyssey, fantastic platform. I know Upper Echelon, you got a really big following over there, don't you? You got a pretty good channel.
I hope so. Yeah, it's kind of like my parachute. I don't know.
Yeah. You got a lot of followers over there. I looked, so I think you got like 30,000 followers over there. I feel like, or maybe it was.
Damn.
I don't know.
Every single video, I'm like, yo, check me out on Odyssey. It's an ad-free platform, like all that, right? Because there's reasons to use it. It's really appealing. They do need some buffering stuff, but they're working on it. They're improving really quickly. So yeah, Odyssey's great. Definitely watch the stream over there. Everybody who's looking right now.
Yeah, 100%. So we are over there. Shout out to Odyssey. We'll be watching that chat too. So if you see super chats over there or over here, we'll make sure we get to them. But yeah, I'm going to look further into the story because obviously it's fun to roast these left-wing people that are always trying to pretend like they care about Star Wars. But I think that's a good segue to talk about some left-wing people that were just hit with the Twitch ban hammer. Pretty interesting story. And I talked about it over on my personal channel, and it's pretty much been widely covered, and that is that Vosh and Hassan Piker both banned from Twitch. I think will be temporarily. I think they'll both be back, but this is the beauty of, watching social justice get eaten alive by their own nonsensical rules. They were both banned. So Hassan was banned for, and it's not as simple as just saying, he didn't just say the word cracker. He literally went after someone and called her a cracker bitch, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what it was? Ryan, have you seen that clip of him saying it?
Something like it was clearly used in like
derogatory
in a derogatory sense, correct? Like out of anger. Yeah.
Right. And then Vosh, I'm not even sure what Vosh said the same thing, right? Is that what it was? I didn't see the clip of what he said, but obviously they're very angry about it. Well, I think Vosh is a little less angry about it, but these are two people that very much have been carrying the banner of private company. Private company can do whatever they want. Quit bitching about it. If you don't like it, don't break the rules. And again, this comes down to when you invent a laundry list of mean words that can't be said, and that laundry list continues to grow based on the society and who wants to pretend to be offended over a new word. Eventually, that type of logic, it will come back to bite you in your ass. And that's exactly what is done. Rippa, what do you think about this whole story?
I mean, these guys get what they fucking deserve as far as I'm concerned. It's Twitch is Twitch. And the favoritism that they've been playing to that side, particularly ideologically, is what it is. Now, like mentioned, more than likely it's not going to last certainly that long. But it is what it is. And like what you've said, these guys often appeal to, hey, they can do what it is they want, or rather, if it ends up removing people that they consider their political ideological enemies, it's perfectly fine once that happens. But once it happens, to them, which again, surprising actually that this even happened, hilariously enough. I'm interested to see how long, and interested to see how what the impact of this is actually going to be, if any at all. Because that says a lot that they would even there go that route. So we'll see. Look, I don't want to jump the gun. I don't know if I don't think the pendulum's swinging back quite yet. You know what I mean?
Not yet.
I don't think it's swinging back quite yet. But to your point, when you do incentivize and encourage this type of behavior, and if it's not for this, it'll be for something else. It's only a matter of time before you become kind of getting the crosshairs, and you are the one that gets axed. It's all fun and games when it's your enemy, but when it's you, folks are going to have less of or rather more of a problem with that. But that's the problem with being kind of inconsistent. So those guys get what they fucking deserve. Hassan Pike is a fucking dipshit. Anyway,
yes.
And yeah. Well,
absolutely.
To be fair, and this ain't me hating. On some serious shit. I have attempted to, even in people and creators that are in any kind of creative space, even stuff that I don't understand, I don't want to say that I don't understand, that it may not be for me. I can always analyze why this person is in the position that they are in, or why this is doing as good as it does. Hassan Piker, I can't fucking understand it. The guy's a dumbass. He's literally fucking stupid. He speaks in vague, generic senses when he's talking in the political aspect. I don't know if you guys heard. I've even did a response video. This idiot talking about libertarian. The guy's a fucking brainless.
I haven't paid a lot of attention. I've not paid a lot of attention
to
him.
When I say stupid, at least I'm not crediting Vosh, but at least
he's consistent and makes arguments that have basis in where his logic is coming from.
Exactly.
Which you can respect.
Piker is just a fucking brainlet. The dude's just a fucking brainlet. So it's very impressive that he has the following over there that he does, because he's one of the people in the creative space that I do not understand the fucking appeal.
Yeah, it's funny you had mentioned the pendulum. I was going to say, it feels like maybe, at least for people like him, the pendulum might be starting to swing back. It feels like a lot of people are seeing he's not saying anything. And a lot of people in that sphere got super popular super quickly. But now it's well, wait a second. They're contradicting themselves. A lot of what they say doesn't make sense. And then, another aspect of the pendulum is that if you actually apply some of the guidelines that they're advocating for, this is what happens. Then they're banned under their own, because to the letter of the law on Twitch TOS, they did something that should result in an indefinite suspension. Yeah. So because they're enforcing it, now Twitch is bad because they're enforcing what they should enforce. based on their rules. And it's like, yeah, the pendulum, right? Like you said, I don't know if it's coming back yet, but it's gonna come back.
Oh, it always does. It's
Yeah.
going to come back eventually at some point in time, and that's when things are going to get really spicy. And I'm excited for that time. I don't know when it's going to be, but once it does swing back, the people that get hit on the way back is going to be very interesting. I don't know how that's going to look.
What
Yeah,
do we
he's been
think
in hot
about
water.
the timing?
Yeah,
One
he
of
has
the
been in
house
hot water
thing.
before because of
Yeah.
like he's a raging leftist, and he's buying this $1 million fucking.
Well, he's been. This is his third ban on Twitch. His third ban, if I'm not
it is?
mistaken.
I didn't know that.
So
That I didn't
yeah, it's
know.
his third time. Dexerto posted a thing that said that Hassan facing his third Twitch ban, which means he hasn't been banned. It means he's facing a third Twitch suspension, is what that means. But I mean, do we think that there's something to this? These are two of the more prominent, leftist gaming streamers. True. Do we think that they're trying to send a message with this, Ryan?
I think that I think there's a potential that they're trying to send a message, a false message. Like, look at us. Look at what we're willing to do. We're willing to suspend them. We're an equal platform like that, with the full knowledge that they're just going to reinstate them and it's not going to be that big of a deal, but it's going to blow up. And so everyone's going to be able to point to this moment and be like, look, Twitch, I mean, they banned two of their biggest streamers for saying something that was derogatory towards white people. They must be a fair and platform, that kind of thing. That's kind of where I see it coming from, where they would do something like this just to appease the public and appease everyone, so that in the future people can't really hold that type of thing against them.
Yeah,
that's what I
trying to tell
I
them
see
to cut the shit, because like the way that they were going about this cracker thing absolutely eroded their ideological platform. It did. Like there was not just a lack of consistency, there was like a concrete, like by definition thing you could point to and say, this is not just hypocrisy. Like you're flying in the face of everything that you're talking about. And they might have been saying like, hey guys, like cut it out. Like this is just so far beyond the pale where it doesn't make any sense that we have to do something. So yeah, they also probably play into the fact that later on down the line, they can say, oh, we did this and it placated that group. So this benefits us from a business perspective. But yeah, and they will be back. I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, I think they will. Go ahead, Dispree.
The issue is, if you look at where Twitch is in a platform, they're at the top, but they're not in a good place. They've been hit with issue after issue, from hot tub streamers to everything else, and it's destroyed their reputation, and it made a load of their biggest streamers already leave. Tim the Tatman's left, Dr. Lupo's left, they lost Dr. Disrespect. Ludwig, who I think was the biggest on the platform, has just gone, and so they've lost a load of talent. YouTube's making big plays with contracts, and Twitch, they're just in the gutter with their reputation. And so when you have people like this just openly saying it, they're not even trying to hide it.
They were cocky with it.
And Vosh, from the clip I saw, wasn't using it derogatorily, but you can't just go around having people... Like, there's a reason why there's all these sort of mines put in language for people to trip over, and you can't think that you're an exception to that, because Twitch, they've been pushing advertisements really hard. Although I would think they'd go for more subscribers and subscriptions and bits, they want advertisers. And nobody wanted to, like, people have actually been staying away from the platform because of things like the hot tub streams. No one wants their sort of advertisements on that kind of platform. And so they'll just stay away completely. And then if it comes out like this, that people are just using racial slurs, whether they think that's bad or not, you're going to destroy the entire platform. And whether it's just a temporary slap or not, they had to be told there is a line and you're going to have to obey it.
Yeah. Just to be very clear, I think that they should be able to say whatever the hell they want. I think they should be able to say
but that
absolutely
goes for everybody.
anything.
But
that is for every single person. I think I should be able to say whatever I want, use whatever language I want. And I think the same thing for people like Hassan Piker and Vaush and anybody else. Because at the end of the day, these are words, and you shouldn't be a pussy about it. Honestly. And the fact is, they have set it up this way. They have tried to define these terms like hate speech and things like that, but they don't like it when it's applied in their direction.
Yeah, I mean, we played a clip of it last week. I found a clip of a old Modern Warfare 2 lobby, and that's just a standard you have to create now. Could this person survive a Modern Warfare 2 lobby based on what they say? And most of them can't. And we all know what that meant, because a Modern Warfare 2 lobby is the world Ryan wants to live in. It's the world we all want to live in, where anybody can say whatever. And if you can hang, then you can hang. And if you can't hang, then you're going to leave. And that's kind of what it should be. But I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting theory that Ryan had, because it is there is something to this. What? I'm not sure, but with Vosh and Hassan being banned simultaneously, there is something to it. I don't know what, but Ryan's theory about them trying to send a message to say, oh, we're not what you think we are, which in fact they are, because it's hard for me to believe that Twitch would do this just because they felt like they thought it was
no,
wrong
there's
that
always
word
a
being
reason.
used.
Like there's no, it's not because they all of a sudden woke up and wanted to be fair and balanced. No, that's not what it was. There's something at play. It could be, speaking of what Disparu was saying, maybe it's advertisements, and maybe there is something that they're seeing in terms of the writing that's on the wall, and all that stuff is in play and something worth considering. Ryan's point is something worth considering, but upper echelon gaming is the same thing. It's like if it could be a mark of a pendulum swinging back, because what you're going, but to be fair, my opinion is this is kind of the stuff that we're going to see when it does start to swing back. I'm not ready to say that it is, but this is the type of stuff that you're going to see. You're going to see people that are in powerful spaces or in powerful places try to get ahead of it. You know what I mean? And try to take more, because it's going to be far more convenient than what it had been maybe in the last, certainly in a few years, when there's just social justice. Once it starts like becoming unappealing, let's say in some sense, and maybe it impacts their bottom line, this is the type of stuff that you're going to see. You're going to see celebrities that were on the other side start to all of a sudden start making a little sense. You'll see companies try to become or like act as if, oh, we're one of the good guys, because they don't want to unfortunately get hit once the pendulum swings, and have that sort of success fall into maybe the hands of their competitors or something like that. So this is kind of how it would look. I'm not as ready to say that this is what's happening, but this is kind of how it will look.
Yeah, it's gonna be like in Toy Story, like those really, really far to the left, like way absurd ones. Like, I don't want to play with you anymore, Woody. Like, the companies are gonna drop them and be like, oh no.
Yeah.
That's good.
The funniest thing is, yesterday Vosh tweeted, "The left needs a big streamer who isn't known for using racial slurs, and I'm stepping up to the plate," and then got banned for using them. It's like literally the same day.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
It's beautiful.
That's
it's
impressive.
a beautiful thing. All right, let me hit a couple of these super chats. Thank you guys again. We are dual streaming over on Odyssey as well. I see we have super chats, or what are they called?
Hyper chats.
Hyper chats over on Odyssey. We have super chats here on YouTube. The Hills, at risk of sounding stupid, is there some drama between you and Doomcock? A bunch of vids on a split from a month ago has been showing up in my feed, and I'm out of the loop. No, there's no drama. There's sometimes people have disagreements. I was arguing with Uche the other day on Twitter, and somebody's like, are y'all good? Or like, is this serious? If I have serious personal issues with anyone, no one on the internet's going to know about it. If I have disagreements publicly on comic books or Star Wars or sports, and I want to argue with my friends or people that I know about it, I'm going to do that. People can take and run with it whatever they want, and that is what it is. But yeah, public disagreements happen. They happen with me and Ripa every week. Like, if you guys heard how we scream at each other, me and Ryan argue every stream. So, it is what it is. People can make more of things that they want, but at the end of the day, I disagree with some of the things that have been reported by Doomcock and some other people, and that's perfectly fine. It doesn't mean that they're horrible people. It doesn't mean that they're right, I'm wrong. It means that I had disagreements, Ryan has some disagreements, and other than that, but no, there's at the end of the day, we're all on this platform, and I think everybody should continue to do whatever they want to do on their channels and build their audience up, and that includes all the channels that are dedicated to hating Geeks and Gamers guts. Please continue making those videos. Let's see. Hosanato says, shout out to Disparu, one of the very few calling out the BS that is the Wheel of Time show. Loving your reviews. You want to go on a little quick rant about that, Disparu?
Oh, that is like literally the Wheel of Time. I've had that book series for about 30 years in my life, and I was excited right up until I realized what they were going to do. From the very start, the creator of it is like, I'm a feminist, and I'm going to put all the women in power. And I'm like, okay. And then he said, that's how I pitched it to Amazon, and that's the show they wanted. So this isn't a bait and switch. This was intentional, and everyone involved from all sides of the business got exactly what they asked for. At this point, it doesn't matter what's going on. Every man that did everything is now just literally running away. There's a scene where two 6 foot over 6 foot guys run away from a girl half their size, and then they're also always saved by a woman. There's literally in the books a scene where one of the women is responsible for taking them into a place which is dangerous. That's been rewritten, so now a man decides it, and the woman who's to blame in the books wakes up and goes, "I can't believe you've done this to us. You've killed us all." And I'm like, it's literally, that's what you would have made the same decision. And it's so badly written. It contradicts itself, and they've completely changed the magic system. And everyone's like, oh, well, maybe it'll still be good. Just divorce yourself from the books. And like, but I wanted that. What you've got is just someone's made up their own story. They've used the characters' names and just it's fan fiction, and it's nothing like it. No one acts the same. None of the events happen, and you go online, you look at all the videos, and everyone's like, "This is amazing! This is absolutely amazing!" And tomorrow, I'm having an interview with the guy involved, and I'm like, "Okay." And there's some smaller channels and one bigger channel shouting this out, and the bigger channel is like kind of grouping people together and going, "I like this. This is like what we need to see more of." And so you've got a kind of a community which is getting together around it, because if you go on Reddit, on all the big forums, they've actually been banning people and kicking people. Anyone that says anything negative against the show, if you're a member of the other subreddit, they just ban you repeatedly, and it's a massive disaster. I've never seen everyone close ranks like this before.
Whew, Disparu coming in hot with the Wheel of Time, boy. We unleashed hell right there. That was beautiful. I love it. That was very well said. So apparently, Disparu, in recap, Disparu does not like the Wheel of Time.
I love the Wheel of Time, but the TV show is not the Wheel of Time.
Right. Yeah, the TV show.
It's a stain on everything that series should have been.
Good stuff.
It's over and over again, man. Every single thing, every single popular franchise that has a built fan base that then someone takes and tries to adapt. We saw it with Cowboy Bebop, got canceled, right? We can say it till we're blue in the face. If you're going to take something that has a dedicated fan base, it makes zero sense to abandon that core fan base in pursuit of all these other random people because that's the story you want to tell, right? But they keep doing it because they know that they have no creativity, and that if they just made stories of their own, no one would watch them. So they have to take these things that are beloved, that have a name recognition of sorts, as a vessel for their identity politics garbage. Otherwise, literally no one would watch.
And the same thing is going to happen to Halo. If anyone that watched the trailer, that is literally going to go the same way as the Wheel of Time.
We're going to pull that trailer up here in a bit and talk about that. But I want to talk to Upper Echelon about something that's it's painful for me to bring up. But he made a fantastic video on it, and that is my beloved Titanfall 2.
Poor game. Well, man, Titanfall the original is the one that's like completely gone now.
Yeah. Well, but then Titanfall 2, I mean, just because of hackers and things. So I know there was a lot of information in your Death of Titanfall video that you made that we still weren't completely clear on a lot of this stuff. Like, have we had any new updates on what happened with Titanfall and Titanfall 2 and Respawn and what their plans are moving forward with this franchise? Do we know anything new since your video release, which was a great video? You guys should all go check that out.
I mean, people are speculating that some of the verbiage in their announcement made it seem like there's a Titanfall 3 coming. Now, I have no idea whether or not that's true, but for the sake of just the original Titanfall game, it sounded like they had deprioritized it to the point where they just didn't have support. There was no one working on it. There was no one solving the problems. And then this hacker was so dedicated to the point where they're creating like what they call atomic bomb exploits that actually take all of the servers offline or fill them with bots or whatever. So they, I don't know. Respawn was kind of getting lambasted all over the place because they were selling a game that they knew was unplayable. People like literally couldn't play the game when they bought it. So, and they even put it on like a Steam sale or something. So they're like incentivizing people to purchase it, and then they can't play it. So taking it down seemed probably to them like a little bit of a credit situation. Like, oh, we're doing the right thing. Like, we're not going to sell you a broken product anymore. But in reality, I don't know how much praise they actually deserve for that. And then Titanfall 2 is kind of in a battle still, I guess. People are still sending me stuff about like who the hacker is and secret audio recordings of phone calls, and I don't even know how they got them. So I'm in a tricky legal situation there. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to have those on my hard drive. So it's like people are sending me stuff about that story still. I'm not clear on all the details, but yeah, the franchise really got put under fire in a way that I don't think it deserves, because it's a good game series.
It's my favorite. I mean, Titanfall 2 is my favorite online multiplayer shooter ever. The campaign is fantastic. Even going to the first Titanfall, I fell in love with that game. I mean, I love the mechanics. I love the gameplay. I love everything about it. And and it just breaks my heart that it's just dead. And it's such a good game, but EA fucked it up with how they released it, because I felt like with Titanfall 2 when it came out, I was like, okay, now it's going to be on multiple platforms, and it's going to open it to a different audience. But the release date that they put it in, it just completely went under the radar, and it's such a disaster. But by the way, Perry Chan, I see you, man. So be careful with the Halo trailer. Last Friday Night Tights got hit with a copyright claim. Thank you, buddy. And hail Perry Chan. Everybody loves Perry Chan from Friday Night Tights fame and Nerdrotic Daily. He is killing it. So
the best part about the whole Titanfall thing to me is, wasn't it a guy that just like he was
a fan?
But he just like wasn't as good at the game. No, sorry, not Perry Chan. Like the Titanfall thing, the guy just like wasn't as good as he like wanted to be. He wasn't beating people, and he just decided, I'm taking this whole thing down.
Yeah, the running narrative that seems to be coalescing is that, and has been for a while, is that is someone who really was not doing well. Like, it was a small, like a dedicated hardcore fan base. It was not very large. So within that fan base and those players, he was like not very good. He couldn't compete with the other people. And also there's something about esports aspirations and certain Twitch profiles and whatever. But he just wasn't excelling to the level he wanted, so he started hacking. Like basic hacks, aimbot, stuff like that. But that wasn't even really working, because some people were finding ways to kill him and kind of griefing him and messing with their names and making fun of him. So then it turned into, well, now I'm actually going to target the franchise. Now I'm going to target the infrastructure. So he learned a lot of this from another person who did kind of reverse engineering. So he picked up all these exploits and then used them, because the Striker engine for Titanfall, I think it's called Striker, is horrible, like absolutely horrifying. So yeah, he picked up all these exploits, then he leveraged them, then he meticulously learned how to do it and did it worse and worse. And then the Titanfall 2 community retaliated against him and Respawn by hacking Apex Legends to try and get awareness. Yeah. So they exploited some of similar vulnerabilities in Apex Legends. That took it down, I think, on July 4th. And they redirected to a website. And then the people who owned the website tried to basically frame someone else as the hacker, which wasn't true. And then that person released, I think, like 145-page manifesto about it. Like, it's a disaster, man. I've literally never seen a community tear itself apart to the extent that the Titanfall community has.
It's sad.
I just love it, because it's just like, get good, son. And he's like, no.
He literally like destroyed the game for months at a time.
Yeah.
It's like the Chad no meme, but just in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
Well, Faru, you've covered this for Gaming with Geeks a little bit. So what are your overall thoughts on it? And then we'll move on from it. Me and my heartbreak of Titanfall 2.
There was almost like a soap opera drama at one point, because people were doing sort of little community investigations and sharing knowledge and stuff. And I don't know whether it was actually ever confirmed or not, but there was a guy who posted basically all of the steps of how someone hacked it and said he reverse engineered the hacker taking down the Titanfall stuff. And then other people said, well, that's suspicious. How do you know all of this stuff? Because he was offering to, I can fix it for you. If you just let me give out access to the game, I'll fix it. And so we were like, that's suspicious. So we started investigating him. And then there was a rumor, I'd like to say, I don't know if it's confirmed, but there was a rumor that guy was actually the hacker, and he was trying to sort of say, I can fix your stuff. If you just give me 24 hours, I'll fix everything, because he wanted an old Titanfall game to be, like, apparently it had been taken down, and he wanted the source code for that so he could upload his own one just because he loved that game so much.
Jeez.
And I'm like, it's so many twists and turns by the end of it. Like, I don't know which one to follow.
Yeah, so the people that went down that road of like him being the hacker, they were like lying behind the scenes and knew about the Apex hack and encouraged it and were trying to frame him, and it fell apart, man. It was so nuts. And then it was funny because a lot of mainstream gaming press, I mean, I'm talking about like PC Gamer and stuff like that, were running with it. And like 4 days after it had come out that the guy had like made up a lot of the context, like ripped quotes out of context that didn't actually make sense. And I don't know. I part of me is like kind of thrilled, like, whoa, it's like an anime. What a ride. And then the other part of me is like, no, this is a fan base of people, like, they like the game. This is people that love a franchise, want to play the game, and yet it's just a tornado of rumors, drama, accusations, and then half the time their game doesn't work. And it's just, I feel bad. As soon as I get kind of gleeful, like, oh, there's new info on the story, I'm like, actually, it sucks for everyone involved.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Titanfall 2, and it just kills me that I just started streaming it again on Gaming with Geeks. You know, I just started streaming it again on a weekly basis, and I was getting some of the guys that are like, I never played this game, and then Lethal Lightning, and had Disparu, and getting some of the guys together, and
Yeah, the 7 people that still played Titanfall 2 are really surprised that a bunch of people are watching.
Hey, Jay has accomplished amazing things with his lawnmower simulator on Twitch. He was the top lawnmower simulator streamer with like 50 people watching. I was the top Titanfall streamer. Okay, I had like 300 people watching, which was like probably like 290 more people that are playing.
Yeah, because every time we play, like literally, we'd see the same fucking names. It'd be like Jedi Master 96, who like obviously all he did was jerk off, eat Doritos, and play Titanfall 2. Like it's the only thing that motherfucker did.
No, but it made me feel. Remember that time when PewDiePie like played a Modern Warfare 2 or something, and it boosted the servers suddenly? Remember that? Yeah, like, this is the only chance I'll have to have something. Maybe I can boost the servers from 10 to 20 people on Titanfall. I can double their customer base with playing this.
Yeah, don't piss off the hacker. He runs a blacklist for streamers. So if he puts you on the blacklist for streamers, you can never play, because every time you log into a server, you get booted. I don't know if he's still running it, but for a while he had dozens of people.
I could not stop. Like I could not access. Every time I'd go in there, it was just locked. It was completely locked. Poor Titanfall. But speaking of poor video game players, I noticed Eric was getting beat in Mario Kart. Lady Ripa logged on, and suddenly he found his groove.
Collusion.
Got a lot of conspiracy theories, man.
Ripa collusion is a real thing, okay?
Those conspiracies are impressive, man. All impressive with those, man. Very impressive.
That's actually why he finally tied the knot. There was like some incentivization there, some partnership that was made when it comes to Sunday Night Mario Kart streams.
Oh man, good stuff there. And yeah, so we do play Mario Kart every Sunday, here, and we have a lot of fun with it, a lot of shit talking, and that's what it's all about. We'll be back this Sunday, so if you guys want to tune in for that, make sure you tune in. But yeah, there's a lot more to talk about. I know there's this one story. I don't know if Ryan's been able to find anything on it yet, but I wanted to talk about this Mega Man Netflix story. I don't know if it's legit. Is this official? Like, I haven't even looked into this.
It's being reported. It certainly sounds like it's official that Netflix's next victim is Mega Man. So we'll see. I don't know if they're going to continue using the gendered language like that.
Mega Man, are you serious?
Yeah,
Lord.
mega person. Netflix is making a live action Mega Man movie. The streaming company has a first look deal, and I guess they like what they saw. Video game adaptations are on a tear. We got new trailers for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and a Halo, and of course Chris Pratt's playing Mario, and an Uncharted movie's nearly here. I'm not excited about any of these things they're listing. Amid these heavy hitters comes the news that Netflix is ready to bring us another franchise, Mega Man. The Capcom Blue Bomber, who's been blasting his way through retro side-scrollers since 1987 on the original NES. I don't understand what the appeal even is. Like, I could not tell you what the storyline of Mega Man is.
Well, the appeal is the difficulty. The difficulty is, they're very
I know that
difficult.
the games were a pain in the ass when I played them.
Yeah,
that's what I know.
They have a great personality around them, and the difficulty was pretty legendary with these games. I mean, I was a big Mega Man fan when I was like on the NES. I remember Mega Man 3 was a fucking massive title when it released, and the Mega Man franchise has always been a really cool franchise, from just the personalities involved, the worlds, and it was a 2D side scroller, and then it evolved into more. But I mean, Mega Man is one of the more iconic franchises for sure. Plus, with the addition to adding him into Smash Bros, that was a big move for him. He was really cool in Smash Bros. So Mega Man's a huge video game character, like big time.
Yeah, he's big, and that's obviously an important franchise. But what I'm saying is, I don't like, who the fuck wants to watch a Mega Man TV show or something?
That goes into the Mario aspect. Like, I don't, as a lifelong Nintendo fan, I have no desire to see a Mario movie at all. You know, so I don't really see what the benefit of this is. But at the end of the day, it's Netflix. We've seen what they're going to do. We know what's going to happen. This is going to be bad.
And that's what I mean. Like, how do you make a film out of this? Like, it's just like, he's just going through these different levels, acquiring these powers. But I couldn't tell you what the story of any Mega Man game I've ever played really is. So what is this dude's motivations going to be? Did somebody misgender someone and he's after him? Like, I don't know. I do know that listen, Mega Man's, from what I know, is a cis white male, so Ripa's not going to be able to identify with that. He's not going to want to watch it.
That's true. That's the only way that I can relate to a character.
Yes,
He looks exactly like me.
Well, I heard they're gonna Miles Morales gonna play Mega Man since he's not Spider-Man. So at least he can be Mega Man.
Yeah, well, he's shit. That would be surprised. He's been fucking Falcon, and as of late, he's been fucking. Who else was he?
I'm Mega Miles.
No, he's been Falcon. He was Captain America. He's been fucking everybody. So shit, why not Mega Man? Shit.
Well, I mean, so ultimately, what there's a problem at the core of all of this, and it's the people that are making these movies and these shows are not the people that should be making them, generally speaking.
That's what Chuck used to call them on my channel, tourists.
Yeah,
and that was
tourists.
the perfect term to use for these types. They're fucking tourists.
Exactly. So like you can go into, okay, I remember back before Cobra Kai came out, and I remember someone sent me the trailer, okay? And they're like, Jeremy, check this out. If you hated The Last Jedi, this is what you need to check out. And I'm like, the fucking Cobra Kai with these washed up actors on YouTube? That's not going to be good. Why would I even want to watch this? What story is there to tell? Now, ultimately, we know that they told a fantastic story because the people that were making it were fans and they had a story to tell. Even though no one took it seriously upon the announcement, no one thought that that was going to be good for a various amount of reasons. Yet here we are, where because fans had a passion, they had an interest and the talent to do it, they executed a great story. So I don't see a story to be told through Mega Man. I really don't. But if you have a talented person, but if you have a talented person that's a fan of the franchise, then maybe that's the case. But we already know that the people making this are not going to have any interest. Nobody that's involved with Netflix right now is like, I grew up grinding on Mega Man. None of them.
Nah.
None of them could make it through Mega Man. Yeah, none of them could make it through Mega Man. I mean, Upper Echelon, were you ever a Mega Man player? Did you ever get into Mega Man?
No, I can't say that I was. I got some, what was it, like Loot Crate before that company went out of business, and they gave me a monthly
Loot
thing.
Crate, God.
Yeah, they gave me a shirt with Mega Man. That's the extent. Actually, there was a lunchbox too with Mega Man on it. That's the only thing I ever knew.
Loot Crate even existed. I remember the first time in our Facebook group, Geeks and Gamers, before we had a YouTube channel, Loot Crate reached out to us and they were like, "Oh, we want to sponsor you." I'm like, holy shit, we have made it. Loot Crate wants to sponsor us. And then I realized Loot Crate was literally doing that with everyone. I was like, Loot Crate's hitting us up, guys.
Like your grandma got us sent the same fucking email. Yeah.
But yeah,
hey, listen, I just had a major person reach out. Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh man, so good, so good.
But I think the fact that there's not an obvious story to tell, like, that just makes it that much more susceptible for them to make it a platform for whatever the hell they want, whatever story they want to tell. They want to take one of these IPs that's recognizable, that'll get people's immediate attention, and then tell the story that they want to tell.
Yep.
I'm not sure they even care about, like, they don't care about destroying something that happened before. In fact, I think a lot of people revel in, like, people going, what are you doing? Why are you destroying this? Like, this happened with the Wheel of Time. He's like, literally, now we're just off on our own new story. It's got nothing to do with it. The events aren't the same or anything else. And you literally have a load of people going, oh, these people just want an adaptation of the source material one-to-one. Look what they're doing. And it's like, they love the fact that they're seeing people not liking what's there. And the thing is with games, there's so many games with so many good stories. There's no reason to choose something that doesn't even have one. Like, you say you don't know the story of the games. I don't think there actually is a story. It's literally just go through and get to the end. Whereas you've got a game like Deus Ex, which is basically a movie just made for you. Just make that with people, know where you go. It wouldn't even require much effort to change the script.
They'd fuck that up. They find a because they, like what I've said many times. I mean, they go franchise to franchise to tell stories, like you're saying all the time. They go to tell stories that they want to tell. And all of those characters are just a fucking launching pad for them to do that, because we've seen it. We don't even have to speculate. We've seen these guys come up with their own material, and it's often dead on arrival. The only reason why people would even pay up a bit of mind is because it's generally tied to a brand that they can recognize. So they'll be like, okay, I'll go check it out. But oftentimes what we're getting, and that's what sucks so much, is that oftentimes you're getting something that, yeah, these people that are fans of that would get enthusiastic about it, like, oh wow, this is a movie for this character or this franchise or whatever it is. I'm interested in that. No, it's dead on arrival. This is why I'm not interested in fucking anything Marvel coming out, like, because of exactly that. I'm going to look at that shit, and it's not going to be anything like what I am going to be expecting as a person that's actually read that material. It's just a launching pad for people to advance their careers. And often the people that are getting these jobs that as writers or anything, they don't even have any sort of like there's no even evidence. Half of these guys, a lot of this time it's their first gig for a lot of these producers and writers. It's like their first gig. Like Ta-Nehisi Coates ended up on
that guy
on just comic book material, despite having no evidence that he was ever even a fan of this shit. Like, that's what you're seeing a lot of, and that's why it seems so detached from the source material or what people can actually recognize or similar to something that they can recognize. Because again, like Chuck called them on my channel, they're tourists. They're not lifers. They're tourists. They're people that see something, it's recognizable. How can I use this brand to tell my story, not the story that's been told, or even piggybacking and telling a new story, but based upon what already exists? They have no interest in doing that. It's more of, oh, I'll throw the character out there in name and maybe in like a suit or something, but as far as how they act, they ain't gonna be fucking nothing like who that character is supposed to be.
Yep, you're right about that. And we've seen it so many times. It's not going to get better. It's just going to continue to get worse. I can't be excited for any of these adaptations. I mean, I talked about this. Like, I never watched Cowboy Bebop, but I have seen Death Note in the past year, and Death Note is a fantastic, anime. It's peak storytelling, in my opinion. And so after I watched Death Note and was blown away by it, shout out to Krista for the recommendation on that. She's the resident anime person here at Geeks and Gamers. But I watched Death Note, and then I said, I remember that Netflix adaptation that came out. Let me watch the trailer. Holy shit, man. Like, you couldn't have missed the mark further if you tried. Like, it was unbelievable. It's like everything that makes these stories great, they actively move away from
Absolutely.
it. It's unbelievable.
I actually think, listen, some concept. Have you guys seen the concept art for the Mega Man show?
Oh boy,
dude!
What you're about to
I think this is going to change Jeremy's mind a little bit here. To be honest with you, it's going to be Mega Man.
Yes. Yes. Sold. Day one. I am there. I need to see myself within this character. I'm seeing it. Now I'm sold.
Turns out Jesse Smollett is actually the villain. He's the bad guy in the show.
Oh, man. That's good. That's fucking good, man.
That is fantastic.
That's
right
pretty
there.
good.
I actually was going to show all right, I'm there. Never mind. I retract everything I said. They clearly know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know their audience.
Yes, exactly. All right here, we got a couple of people. I just want to show the dual streams right here. So we've got dual streaming right there. Dual streaming there. You guys are showing. That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
so I do appreciate that. And then let me see if I can find it in my notifications really quick. Yeah, right here. It happened. D-Day Cobra brought up Titanfall with Upper Echelon. You know I was going to. I have to talk about Titanfall. It's therapy at this point. That's all I have is just to talk about it because it's dead, so it's not coming back. Buford T. Justice for 50. Hollywood is dead set on destroying as many IPs as they possibly can. Gotham Knights video game is getting a live-action TV show, and they hired a Batwoman writer to lead it. Doesn't seem like the wokeness is going anywhere anytime soon.
You gotta understand, you fell upward. With Marvel and DC, you fell up. You don't fail down, you fell up. So if you make something that sucks, you get rewarded. That's just how it works. And that sounds asshole backwards because it is, but that's the world that we live. This is why Kelly Sue DeConnick is still writing books.
You can't fire a woman. You can't fire a black woman. You can't fire a lesbian. You can't fire these people, right?
Yeah,
because they'll immediately hit you. They'll immediately hit you with HR complaints. They'll immediately do all this stuff. So instead, you just got to give them a different job.
So
that's the
sad
truth.
but true. It's sad.
Yeah.
but
But
true.
wouldn't you think
It
you'd
is.
put them in a place where they couldn't do more damage? Because you'd think at some point just the reality of money would kick in, and they'd be like, "We're gonna have to make something."
I don't understand. Like, definitely Batwoman. There's no way that show is profitable in any sense, considering the ratings.
Yeah, it absolutely is on the Hill versus Babyface channel. It's
Well,
very
yeah,
profitable.
Profitable for ads.
No,
For sure. So maybe I guess we should have it keep going just for the sake of our bro.
Yeah.
So touche, I guess.
Might not be good for his mental health, but it's good for his pocketbook. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Man.
Shout out
That's a
to
good
our
point.
boy Az. Shout out, and also EFAP. It's very profitable for EFAP and Mahler and the crew. That's for sure. All right, I wanted to toss this one over to our panel, and that is we just recently had the release of Halo Infinite, the campaign. Now the multiplayer has been out for several weeks now, free to play multiplayer. Wanted to kind of get a few kind of different ideas and thoughts on that game. I know Ripa's just been living on the multiplayer.
Yeah, that's the only game I've been. I play a little FIFA in between, but my main game's been fucking Halo.
Can we get a gif of him and Jay Hellstorm, Step Brothers, and then Halo? Did we just become best friends? Because him and Jay Hellstorm are like, I can't. They're always hanging out playing Halo now.
We are.
So,
I fucking love it, man.
I don't think any of us have gotten too deep into the campaign yet. Obviously, the multiplayer has been played by probably all of us. So, Ripa, I know you've been on this. So, have you played any of the campaign yet?
I haven't touched any of the campaign, and high key, just as more that I play the multiplayer, the less interested I'm in. And to be fair, I was getting it for the multiplayer. Like the campaign, I know people come from different sides. Some people like both. Some people loved Halo for the campaign. That was one of the first like competitive experiences that I had growing up with like Halo 2 and doing Halo like LAN tourneys and playing with my bros on between that and Quick and all other like that just era was an awesome time to be a gamer for competitive like first person shooters.
Forget akimbo assault rifles, baby.
Yeah. It's like this is the best, and I don't say this like lightly. This is the best this game has been probably since that era, as far as in the multiplayer space. There are some playlist stuff which I think got updated today.
I think it's the Slayer. I think there's a Slayer playlist.
So there's
It's a playlist.
Yeah, so they have all of that now, which I know a lot of people ask for. But as far as the actual gameplay, it feels like it's modern in a sense that catching up with the mechanics of a modern era Halo game, and as it should be. But as it plays like classic Halo. And to me, as far as the competitive 4v4 experience, there's nothing like it. It's just such a unique experience. There's nothing like it. And yeah, I got my gripes, but in all fairness, my gripes are like it's nitpicky. I think the grenade should be toned fucking down and ranked and shit. Like the whole meta of, hey, I'm shooting a guy from across the damn map, and his like instinct is to just turn around and toss a grenade at the fucking ground. I don't think that's good gameplay. But aside, that's nitpicking. Aside from that, gameplay wise, the best Halo has been in a very, very, very long time. And I hope that they continue that, obviously expanding upon the maps and all of that. But ranked Halo 4v4 heavy comms, it's hard to beat it, man. It's the best it's been probably since, again, that era that in which I was talking about, for sure.
And it's free to play.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah. That's one thing we haven't really talked about when it comes to this game is the multiplayer, which is I think again really the only reason I care. I did buy the thing so I can play through the campaign. I've played about 4 or 5 hours. It feels like Destiny in a way where it's like it's not true open world. It's almost like you're going to have these hubs that you go to. That's what it seems to me. And these hubs will be sandbox but play open world, if that makes sense. And I'm liking what I'm seeing from the campaign so far, but the fact that this entire multiplayer is free to play is a game changer. And To me, there's like nothing I'm gonna change. Yeah, does it suck that people turn around and throw grenades at you? Yeah, that's fucking Halo. Because you can't really, because the way that Halo is designed is if someone like gets the jump on you, it's very hard to overcome that. It's not like Call of Duty where you can turn, you can drop, and you can get a headshot and be done. No, it's the time to kill in Halo is a big thing. So you have to like throw a grenade. That's like your only option in this game if you can't jump behind a corner. That's just the way Halo is played, in my opinion. I think the multiplayer is exceptional. There's really nothing I would change about it.
Has anybody seen this? Have you guys seen the Halo Infinite multiplayer tutorial? They sprinkled a little wokeness by introducing a new Spartan character. I haven't seen that. Has anybody seen it? That doesn't surprise me.
I haven't touched it.
Look, it does surprise me. We've heard a little bit of it. So
first time hearing about that.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of their virtue signaling and all of that, but at the end of the day, it has not affected the gameplay from at least from what I've experienced, and none of it's experienced. So, Upper Echelon, what are your thoughts so far on Halo Infinite?
Mostly focusing on the multiplayer. I guess I'm always careful because I have a lot of nostalgia, right? Like Halo as a franchise is something I have a very specific impression of what I want Halo to be, and this kind of lines up with that. So I don't want to be like, oh, it's so amazing because it just fits exactly what I want, but at the same time I want to say that because it is amazing and it fits exactly what I want. Now, there were some gripes. People were talking about cosmetics. I covered that on my channel even. There were some gripes about like battle pass speed and XP gain and whatever, and then of course like meta mechanics, whatever, this, that, balancing wise. But when when it's a free game and you're in the area of criticizing cosmetics or individual meta mechanics,
at that point, man.
Then you got to think like, okay, well, broad strokes, it's pretty good then, right? Yeah. So it's Halo that stays true to what Halo is. And after we just talked a lot about how a lot of things are not staying true to what the actual fans want, I kind of respect that, and it seems like it's sticking to what Halo fans want. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm very much enjoying it. I mean, I've never been a multiplayer Halo player much. I always played the campaigns, and I love the campaigns. I never really played a lot of the multiplayer back in the day, in the heyday of it, until Reach. Reach is kind of the first one I really played multiplayer on, and I very much enjoyed it. But in terms of the multiplayer for this one, it's so good. It's so damn good. And I know Lethal Lightning, our very own Lethal Lightning's already. I mean, he's a beast at Halo. He's an absolute beast, and he's played through the entire campaign. So we're probably going to get his thoughts on it at some point over on Gaming with Geeks and his channel as well. Also, he's not on Twitter anymore. At least I don't know if it's Timp or whatever.
So I think it's permanent.
Is it a perma?
Dropping like flies.
I know.
I'm gonna be the last one on there.
Dude, if Ryan's the last one on there, the system is fucked. All right, Ryan's.
I'm gonna trick. It's just gonna be me and Krista left at some point, and I'm gonna trick her. I'm gonna trick her into saying something so bad she gets yeeted from the platform. I'm gonna have Trudeau personally pull her account. So.
Oh man, but yeah. So Disparu, as a newcomer to the Halo franchise, how do you feel about this game based on your experience so far?
So I came at it and I wasn't that interested at first, and then I played it with Ripper and Lethal. We did the 4-stack competitive, and at first, the first couple of games, I got slaughtered, and I'm like, this is a bit. I'm not. A big
I was
fan
there
of this.
too. You just fucking ignored me. I was literally there.
I was gonna say you, but I was like, I can't really remember because we also played it later with loads of other people as well. But yeah, but by the end, it completely won me over on the multiplayer. I do agree with Ripper. I wasn't a fan of the grenades.
Yeah.
I like precision stuff where skill makes you win,
Absolutely.
and the grenades with their AoE is just not for me. I much prefer the ranked over the quick play because you just start with a better, more accurate gun.
Yeah.
I do like the longer time to kill because I think it increases the sort of the skill ceiling you get there, and so the best player I think wins more fights. And also, I'm not too bothered about the campaign. It's like I'll play through it for the story, but I like my single player games to focus on the single player and my multiplayer to focus on that. So it's like with Battlefield, it didn't have a single player campaign, and to me that's a benefit, so they can do more for the multiplayer. So Halo overall completely changed my mind, totally won me over. I did try to play it on my own, hated it. What I really liked was playing with other people, especially aggressive players, so that I can play around it. Because on my own, everyone camped in a corner and never moved, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, it's a game that's certainly driven by like the comms of it all. Like that's what the competitive scene is, and that's what it's about. That's the unique experience about it, and how you can go in even playing the same game of Stronghold is going to look different from the game you played earlier, even if it's on the same map, if you're playing against different players because of the communication and everything. But yeah, for sure. Like hopefully, I don't know. I've suggested two things. Either they make the grenades like only the ones that like you can pick them up, like instead of everybody starting with two. Or like
start with one.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to pitch that one too. Or at least they tone it down to one, because right now the meta is simply, oh, the guy got the drop on you, turn around, throw a fucking grenade at the ground and hope for the best. And I'm like, at least the stickies require a little more talent. But just motherfuckers just tossing frags and them bitches bouncing and killing you. Once you had the drop on them, it's childish as fuck. But it happens so often because you start out with so many of them. So I think for sure they should look into toning that down.
Well, the thing is, like, even in the tips, like with the tips that scroll by, it'll even be like, start and finish your fight with grenades. It's like, you have grenades, make sure you use them.
Yeah.
So like they want you to do that.
They could solve it just by increasing the time for explosion, because whenever a grenade landed by me, I'd try to run away from it. Never.
You're done. Once that bitch bounces one time, it's blowing up bad.
You got to jump. That's the thing. I think it's because you can jump so high in Halo, and if you jump, almost always you will not die from a grenade explosion. You know what I mean? Unless you your shields are done.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not as good. I'm definitely not as good as Ripper or anything like that at the game. It's far better than me at Halo, but I don't have. Now, I play more big game modes, so maybe it's because
you're a fucking masochist. I don't know what the hell's wrong with you.
I love the big game modes, dude. I like the chaos. I like the vehicles. I like all that shit. But so I guess it doesn't affect me as much on the big game modes as it would the smaller maps, because the smaller maps, you got a lot of corners. People can really mess you up.
Literally
with
just chunking like at that. Like it's just definitely with a game that's driven by its gunplay. It's not even about like removing the grenades. You know what I mean? It's just about making them to where they're more. People have to be more efficient with them, because right now it's just you start with two after every death. There you can go pick them up. Obviously, they're all around the map, and you can fuck people up in the event that they have the drop certainly on you. And that's to me is shortening the skill gap, which if it was more efficient, people would be more mindful with it. If they had less, let's say, it'd be a little more mindful with how they're throwing them. So it's nitpicky, but that's my one general complaint. People that have watched me stream and heard me plenty of times saying very bad words because some clown that I'm way better than chunked a fucking grenade at the ground as a bailout and killed himself, or killed me and himself. Is
we got this super chat from Bill. Says that we had an old custom game style in Halo called Body Count. It's King of the Hill with no shields, shotguns, only no grenades. King of the Hill mode makes it so there's no kill cap, so the name Body Count lives up to the name. I want to
play one custom game. I haven't done I might probably get on the game battle scene again, but only custom game that I've done was me kicking Uche's ass back to back like that. That was the only time I did a custom game so far.
We used to, when we were when I was on the ship during shift work, we'd fucking set up custom games all the time playing Halo. And one of the things we did, we turned gravity all the way down. We turned speed up to 200 or 300%. And we would play on the biggest map possible, big open map with just rocket launchers. So you'd be bounding across the entire thing. Everyone's flying as fast as you can. You're just trying to get a rocket right where this one of the motherfuckers going to land for a second. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. That's a question for it moving forward is what is it looking like in terms of adding more modes or anything? I don't know, Upper Echelon, how plugged in you are to any of that, or if if anybody's heard, when is the plan? I mean, we just got, I guess, a Slayer mode added today.
We got a lot of stuff added today, actually.
Oh, did we? Okay, because I haven't even checked it.
Slayer, SWAT.
Yeah, I played a lot of Fiesta
today,
we got SWAT?
Actually.
We got SWAT?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go then. So now is it customizable like a lot yet, or just is it kind of straightforward?
just those
Just the
playlists.
playlist.
Yeah.
It's, you know,
They're not ranked,
Slayer,
obviously, but they're
yeah,
Right.
Slayer, Tactical, Fiesta.
I just
everything.
play it to warm up. I wouldn't play a lot of it, but yeah.
So am I in the minority here or not? I like big team mode more than the 4v4. So
You are
Nah,
1000%
me and Lethal was talking
minority.
shit about that the other day. Like that shit's childish as fuck.
nah,
to me.
man, the
Just because
chaos,
I
man.
get it. I get it, like, but nah, like that's like training wheels. So I don't fucking. Me and Lethal was talking about that the other day, or last time we were playing, actually, about because we had, you know, if you get dropped, game gets dropped, something stupid like that, you end up with a ban. So we had to play like some random mode, and it was fucking childish as fuck. And I'm like, man, this shit is. You could kind of see the or feel the atmosphere kind of change there until we got back in rank, and then hopped it back up. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan.
Big game mode, it's like fun with a bunch of people, but it sucks because again, with Halo, with the shields, the way they are to recharge, like it is so highly dependent on a one-on-one matchup that you find with somebody on the map. And
I
then
agree with that. Yeah.
so like the entire the way Halo is supposed to be played really is you find somebody, you have a one-on-one matchup, you fight them. You move your way on because you don't want to sit there, right? You move your way on, your shields recharge, you have another one-on-one matchup. You know, that's kind of how I feel like it's supposed to be played.
Yeah,
now, of course, like that, we have people that stick together, they have teams, you get 2v3s and stuff like that. But I think that's the way it's designed. So when you have big mode map, it feels to me like I can never just kill somebody and not get killed ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just so frustrating.
Well, I just dropped the poll in the chat, so we'll see. We'll see where the chat stands. Big team battle and 4v4. So you guys vote away. We'll see. I feel like I'm probably in the minority on it, but we'll see.
What were we gonna say up, Echelon?
I like that there's a very distinct atmosphere between the different modes, right? So maybe I don't prefer a big team battle, but it's a very distinct atmosphere. And it can be appealing to a lot of people, which I like a lot. And then also, like, even with something like Destiny, I was never getting the fix that I wanted. That's why one of the reasons why I really like the multiplayer. I just wasn't getting my fix right because sometimes the different meta weapons or you're getting killed too quickly, and the time to kill is just such an important factor. Call of Duty experimented with it by raising it, but again, never scratched the itch because it was so low. There were so many, like, you shoot someone and you never get that one-on-one experience because then you're getting killed like a slot machine from the back or the side. And then small playlist Halo now is kind of going back to the roots of what I consider to be a true competitive shooter.
Yeah,
hell yeah, I'm really happy to hear that they added all those lists. So that's options are a good thing. You know, it's wise. And again, I haven't even turned on Vanguard in 2 weeks probably because they keep fucking with the playlist on that game. I liked some of the stuff and then you changed it. And it's like, what the hell are you guys doing? And I tried to play the new Warzone map. It's buggy as hell, dude. Oh my god! Like your loadouts. If you pick up one of your loadouts, it's just like you're carrying this giant black box around. You can't even see what's in front of you. It's so broken. It's really broken. So
and they're patching it, but it's had so many issues. And you have to remember, this was already delayed, and it's been released. So you can imagine the state it was in before. They haven't even got their anti-cheat right. They've just released that in one region. Everyone was excited more for the anti-cheat than the map, and they're like, no, we're just going to release it in Asia. It's like, well, what about everyone else? Either it's ready or it's not. What are you doing? So it doesn't even make sense. I don't know. Like, they haven't released a map for 18 months or going on 2 years, I think. And then they can't even release one correctly. All of their studios are working on Call of Duty, and I don't know how you fail this badly at the release.
They're too busy sexually harassing each other, obviously. and by that I mean they're too busy. By that I mean they're too busy with all the blue hairs and the pronoun people going on strike every day. So
there is an issue of there was so many strikes outside, and then Raven Software just got in trouble because they fired a load of people, and people are like, "What are you doing firing them?" And it's like, well, you're not putting out content, so they're not making money, so they're reducing their staff. It seems like logical. Whatever your reasons are or position on it, you must understand why they had to do it. But
listen, I don't like Activision. I hate what they do. I hate what they've done to consumers and shit like that. At the end of the day, when it comes to all of this, every single game developer or anything, it's all the same stuff going on right now. It happened to Ubisoft, happened to Activision. We talked about Quantic Dream. It's these people that get in there and they're not comfortable with the environment, right? They're not comfortable with the environment that they chose to come into. and do bad things, like actual no shit bad things happen occasionally. I think the vast majority of this stuff has been so completely overblown by everyone, out of proportion. It is being taken advantage of by basically like this woke mob of people. And what it's resulted in is what we're seeing at Activision right now. It's resulted in everybody more concerned with doing these walkouts, doing these strikes, than, you know, putting out good games. And I think it's bad news for the entire gaming industry because of it. Should repercussions happen if someone is actually being sexually harassed or something like that at work? Absolutely. But I think the vast majority of these things and these complaints that are coming, it is from stuff that has been blown out of proportion to the next level.
Do you guys know how Riot Games handled it? Because they've been going through for like 3 years a similar thing. Yeah, so I did like kind of a, I don't know, dark humor thing on like today, even talking about like my awards for gaming workplace abuse scandals. So Riot Games, they had like 1,000 people that were complaining about this and saying like, oh, there's all these discrepancies and culture and frat boy and whatever. And they were like, no, we reject this. So they had secret settlements. They got the same agency that went after Activision Blizzard, and Activision Blizzard is imploding. The same agency came after them and was like, we need to know about all your secret dealings. And they were like, no. And 18 months later, they were like, no, we're not going to give you this. So they just straight up didn't give them any of the documents. They ignored the whole thing. And they're fine. Like, they're perfectly fine. So I'm looking at Activision Blizzard, like, basically falling apart with all the stuff that's going on. And then Riot Games that's basically telling the government, no, you can't see this thing. Like, we're ignoring you. And they're perfectly fine. So I don't know. There's definitely ways to handle it that are not the way that Activision Blizzard is.
Yeah.
When all that stuff came out, I caught a lot of heat on a video that I made because I was basically like, this is kind of a joke, right? It's the government of California not happy that Blizzard didn't do what they wanted them to do, and they're filing this suit against them. And the vast majority of the stuff in there was all BS. It was clearly a play in the public sphere. That's what this entire thing was about. And then you get all the hit pieces. Then you get these things, the Cosby Suite, which was completely misrepresented in every way possible. About the Cosby Suite, why it was named that, and what was actually going on in there. And I think that they just let it spiral so far out of control publicly. I don't know what they do now at this point.
Well, Bobby Kotick, he was bleeding board support for I don't even know how many years. He went from like massive majorities approving his compensation package down to like a very slim majority. And then now, I mean, with all the optical backlash against him, yeah, I don't know what he does. Whether or not he resigns, not sure, but specifically him is in hot water after the Wall Street Journal, was it, that put out the whole thing about how he knew about it and he covered it up. So regardless of whether or not the specifics align with what they said, right, framing and context and everything, he's in really hot water. So I don't exactly know what they do because they keep stepping in it. They don't stop stepping in it. Like, they're not able to do what Riot did, which is like, nope, you're not getting this. Bye-bye, scandal's over. They're like wallowing in the scandal.
Yeah, but it's like, so the female co-CEO, right, that they promote leaves, and then just is like, I wasn't treated well at this company. They were terrible to women. You were perfectly fine taking the co-CEO job 6 to 8 months ago and saying glowing things about the company. Go fuck yourself, you bitch. That's what I would say. And she said, I wasn't compensated fairly. You accepted the job at that pay scale. And then when you decided to walk away, they went ahead and did offer you equal compensation. But you're the one that took that and then said the party line. Now you're trying to say that, oh, you didn't feel comfortable there as a woman. You were abused as a woman there. Fuck off.
Well, that's why, and I'll bring it back to, look, we may deal with a lot of problems from Nintendo, but we don't deal with these types of problems, okay? Nintendo is focused on making boneheaded decisions on their games sometime and strange online and terrible servers, but you don't hear about these widespread problems from Nintendo, which is one of the reasons all of these game companies, you hear from all of these problems. There are so many problems from so many of these developers. And then when you have a developer that, everybody respects, then you get a Cyberpunk. And, it's so crazy. But I will always, that's why I will take the bad that comes with Nintendo, because the bad typically doesn't affect the actual game. You know what I mean? A lot of these problems, they bleed over into the games because of, development, broken games coming out, whatever. It's a widespread problem in the gaming industry. It absolutely is. But one thing, you can say a lot of shit about Nintendo. One thing you say is you don't hear about all these things from Nintendo. You just don't.
They bleed over to the games because they feel the need to compensate in the game for the accusations that are happening. Activision.
Oh,
Black
that's a good
Black
point.
Lives Matter. All
That's
that
a
stuff.
good
That's why.
point. That's
So,
a good point.
Yeah,
That's
so
a very
all that
good point.
happens when these SJWs get control, they start going on strikes, then the company decides, well, we need to hire more of this type of person or this type of person. We need to make our games more representative of this and that. That's the end game with this entire thing. It's all about getting control.
That's literally what's happened at Activision with WoW. They started changing pictures. They turned a woman into a bowl of fruit, and you're like, why are you spending development time on that? You're literally bleeding subscribers faster than any point in history, and instead of making new content, you're changing pictures in the game. It's like, what is going on? And then you had stuff in the Game Awards where I'm literally just watching it. I just want to see new games. And they just keep putting this in. At one point, I got told that I'm a bad person for saying that I don't want politics in my games and I should be talking about Portland. And I'm like, it's in a completely different continent. Why on earth would I want that in my games? But no, because I don't want that and say I don't want that in like the Game Awards, now I'm a terrible person. And this person literally said, I am changing and improving the world with my podcast. And I'm like, just talk about games. That's all I want at the Game Awards, but you can't even have that.
Well, I tune into the Game Awards. Oh, go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, to Jeremy's point about Nintendo not having these problems, it's probably because they understand their audience has never had a sexual experience in their life, therefore would not understand what sexual harassment is. So,
Ryan had to get that shot in. So I started watching the Game Awards. I saw Nintendo or Metroid Dread won. Was it Action Game, I believe, and then so I was like, all right, cool. And then they introduced a K-pop group, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And then it was cringe. So I know.
I bet all those motherfuckers have Switches.
The chat rebelled during that because it wasn't just a K-pop group.
It was bad.
It was a children K-pop group.
Yeah, it was bad. And it was really bad. So Upper Echelon, I know you've got a video on your channel I've not watched. I saw it was titled about the Game Awards. Did you do a recap on it?
No. So my most recent one was about like just awarding the different companies for all their scandals. Where I talked about Riot. But I did one about the actual video game awards, and it's just I always get triggered when people say like no one cares and no one watches it. I'm like, that's not true. It's growing exponentially. It's huge, and it's used as a marketing thing now, right? If you can put your trailer, like as we've obviously just seen, but you can put your trailer there, and it gets in front of all these people, and so they're doing wacky things with it, and I don't know. I don't like that. Audience vote is only 10%, so the video game awards are. I'm not the biggest fan, I guess, but it provides a stage. So. Yeah, it's interesting to watch. That's about it, though.
The official stream, when I looked at it today, had 3.7 roughly million views, and then you've got all these restreams that everybody did, which will all have 100,000 views plus on all their streams. It's massive. So it definitely matters, and it's like they can't even just show games. And there was actually one where there were adverts coming after this. I'm like, are you happy where your advertisement in place? Because I'm assuming they sold that spot on being at a game show and like they're put next to something else that they may not like. I'm not sure I'd be happy if I was an advertiser.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. So let me grab this one real quick. Was finally able to buy a PS5 for $4.99. Haven't played since PS2, so I'm rusty. Can you recommend any good games? Well, before Ripa recommends Miles Morales, I will.
I would say Rippa watch every time I stream that game. I swear Rippa's in my chat. I think he's a closet Miles Morales fanboy.
No, I played it. No, y'all don't remember it because I got trolled on that little Black Lives Matter mural. I didn't even know it was in the fucking game. And I was trying to like web it to cover the shit up, whatever. But yeah, like I actually played it. But nah, that game was far over fucking price. That's fucking because I beat it in like a day.
I do think so. A lot of the games that are on PS5 are also going to be There's some PS4. They're not all
Demon
exclusive,
Souls,
but,
that's for sure.
but like Demon Souls is going to be one that a lot of people are going to bring. Returnal is another one that I'm sure a lot of people will mention. If you haven't played since PS2, then a game that Ryan's going to talk about is Ghost of Tsushima. I know you'll recommend that one.
Oh yeah, 1000%. Get that on PS5 too, because fuck, that is really good on PS5. Go and get the director's cut.
Yeah,
So.
any games that aren't like top tier games that all of us would recommend upper echelon that's on your radar for PS5 or even PS4?
PS5, I don't know. I always wait in console generations like a long time. I wait a really long time before I switch. Like I haven't even tried to get one. I mean the whole scalping thing, but yeah, because there's just not as much there. I feel like in a year or two, yeah, and they're tough to get. Well, actually, that's getting better now. So he said he picked one up for $4.99, which is impressive because that was hard to do for a long time. But I really don't even have recommendations other than Demon Souls. Like if I got one, it would be for that. I don't think there's anything else that I would specifically want to PS5.
The thing is, so like God of War PS4 is upgraded on the PS5. You know what I mean? So like, if you haven't played since PS2, get God of War PS4, put the disc into PS5, and it's upgraded. It looks great. It's obviously a great game, and it's just going to look that much better on your PlayStation 5 if you haven't played it. So, and of course, Last of Us 2, obviously.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's for sure. Subvert your expectations.
I have a question for the chat. By the way, we did do the poll. Big Team Battle was 50. It was 50. I think it was 55-45. I'm not sure. It was Big Team Battle barely won. So as the SJWs do, my sample size means that's an objective fact across the entire world of 300 votes. So, but
you cite it as a story, and then they cite you, and then they cite them, and then they cite them, and then everybody's saying
it's my truth.
Exactly, my truth. But at the end of the day, I get it. I mean, Big Team Battle is more chaotic, and there's a lot going on. 4v4 is more tactical and relies more on communication. And I'll probably get like at this point, I don't like playing with the guys like Ripa and Leith because I feel like I hurt the team more than anything right now. I want to get better, So like it's kind of like and when I play Halo 4v4, I know what it's like to be Ripa playing Mario Kart. I suck. I suck.
I still want to see a 1v1 Uche. I think you can beat him. Like I'm not even joking, bro.
I probably could.
I'm not even joking.
Oh, fucking Uche! I swear, man. Uche is like that guy that goes into the bar. He's like, I'm gonna hit on every chick, and if I get one, I'm like, I got my game, because every one I'm gonna shoot him down. But if he gets one, he's good,
That's gonna be the ugliest chick in that motherfucker too. That's a fucking sure, man. God damn.
Has anybody, I was going to ask the chat though, and you guys can answer obviously too, but like, has anyone actually seen a PS5 or an Xbox Series X in a store?
No,
I have not. No,
there was the Xbox Series, whatever, the smaller version. Yeah, those
I saw that
were
one
at GameStop. Yeah,
I saw that one a few days ago at Walmart, and I'm like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh shit! I'm like, oh, that's the S.
I know. I did the exact same thing. I was like, wait a second, no.
Yeah, everybody's just saying no in the chat. Like literally everyone.
Crazy.
Krista didn't. Well, she just bounced for a
She
second.
saw controller.
Somebody said yes.
Oh,
somebody said yes.
Somebody said yes. Okay, didn't Krista? Did you see PS? It was PS5 controllers. I know you're trying to eat.
You've been eating this entire time.
I have Oreos.
Oh, hang on. Show the Oreos. All right. Is that not double stuffed?
No.
Is that a regular Oreo? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Krista.
What?
That's the shit you used to crumble up. That's the shit you used to crumble up and put in ice cream or something. You don't fucking eat it straight. What the hell is wrong with you? We're an evolved society. Regular stuffed Oreos.
Right?
What was the question?
We live in a society.
That's what people from fucking Haiti eat.
It's so good.
It has to be double stuffed Oreos, Krista. I don't even know if you guys have those. Do you guys have those in Canada?
Yeah, we got him.
That's like the shit the United Nations just like drops from a fucking airplane in Afghanistan.
Oh my god.
Ryan hasn't shown this much passion all fucking night.
Oh man.
I do like the thin Oreos though.
Fuck.
The only other thing I've seen that provokes such strong reactions if you find out no one uses dark mode and everyone's just like, "You are filth! What are you doing?"
That is true. That is true. Oh man. Okay, Krista, have you seen a PS5 in Canada? I know you saw the controller is what it was, right? PS5
yeah,
controllers?
just the controllers. Mhm.
Okay. So there you go.
I don't know how I got that shit on opening day for both of them.
I got it.
Series X and
I got it
PS5.
like 3 days after release at Walmart. What I did was I followed all the accounts who I saw were tweeting out updates.
That's what I did.
That's what I did, and then Walmart got a batch, and I was like just too late, but I got it in my cart, but it wouldn't let me check out. So I left that bitch in my cart until the next drop, and immediately just hit checkout and got it.
That is genius.
I know
that worked.
It worked for me.
That's smart.
I just like I
smarted
saw
the bots.
One of my partners retweeted like, all right, Amazon. It was the first batch of the Amazon ones that went up for PlayStation 5, and like he just happened to retweet it, and I was like, oh okay, I'm gonna go get it, and I got it like no problem. It's funny story. I got 2 of the Xbox Series X's. One I ended up selling. Because I got it one, like I accidentally got 2 of them, like in crackheads at GameStop, even though
Black privilege
at down the street in Dallas. But yeah, like they that shit was crazy. I got that one from GameStop, same thing. It was like it first went up with their bam, got it, and I know I'm fucking blessed because I probably got to be the only one that got that shit day one like that, by both of them at least.
Yeah,
damn, that is
without
crazy.
without using a bot either. It was just I just fucking
that is
button.
So Tommytron TV, you guys seen him, by the way. You guys should go subscribe to his channel for all that retro goodness. But he actually scored 2 PS5s. Basically he bought 2 PS5s because he was trying to get a PS5 and an Xbox Series X for he has 2 sons, and so he bought the 2 PS5s. He said, if I score an Series X, I'll sell you the second PS5. And so, of course, I was pulling for him, like, please get the, and he did. And so then he sold me the PS5,
Nice.
at regular, whatever he paid for it. And that's the only reason I have one. And I'm really lucky that happened. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy that that it's been so difficult for
them and the graphics cards. Like it's fucking
it's
fucking insane. Like you got to get
scalpers.
pre-builds and break them down just to fucking get a fucking 30, 90 or some shit.
The scalpers are nuts too. There was one big group, I think it was in the UK, that was like, it's a new age of retail, like we're going to dominate every release. And then they had a Twitter account, and they were going through it. Even like the Xbox mini fridges, they're like, yeah, we got like 2,500 orders, and there were multiple per order or something like that. So they have like thousands and thousands of these mini fridges. I'm like, oh my god, like, if you look at the numbers, it's kind of wild. Like hundreds of millions of dollars in profit for scalpers just from consoles.
My brand is in the chat. He said Ripper got me. I did get him. I did get him a PS5, ironically enough.
Hell yeah, man, it's tough.
And like a bunch of people they're trying to institute policies and laws and stuff to prevent that. But how do you prevent bots from doing that? Do you know what I mean?
They can if they wanted to. But that's on Sony, that's on Microsoft,
it's on like Walmart and Amazon and like on retailers.
Retailers though, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So it's on them to actually want to, but with the Sonys of the world, they get their fucking money, so it's like shit, we good. You know what I mean?
They tried to though. I will say this, like GameStop was like, GameStop was like, hey, we got a batch in at this store. You got to be there at noon tomorrow. You know what I mean? So they tried to do what they could to some aspect, but
if they had forced like credit, if they had said 1 per credit card, right? Or valid credit card, then they would have kind of been forcing scalpers to either commit like identity fraud or theft. And then that's a whole different bracket of crime, right? So then they can prosecute. So there were ways to do it, but a sale is a sale. Right. So
at the end of the day, that's why a lot of them aren't going to do shit, is because a sale's a sale at the end of the day. We got it out, it's out of the store, or it's out of the warehouse. We done sold it. We got our fucking money.
They're moving inventory instantly. Now I kind of had the angle that a lot of the inventory that scalpers have that kind of sits for longer periods of time, that does kind of hurt Sony and Microsoft, because then they don't have the pipeline to sell games.
Correct.
So it's a true thing that Yeah, but it's short term because eventually that inventory does move. People want them so bad that they're going to buy them. So what are you going to take, like a small, tiny hit? Because they even sell consoles at a loss usually, right, for the hardware because they're building the pipeline. So I don't know. Like the scalping problem doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. Even though there's like a Stopping Grinch Bots Act in the United States, like I don't think they can enforce that. It's cool to see it because yes, I don't think scalping is like a great way if you're mass buying like 1,000 consoles. Like that sucks. Let people buy them, but I don't think there's a way to effectively stop it with legislation.
I mean, with GPUs, it got worse just because now the scalpers are the retailers themselves. They just saw that the price was going for like basically double what it should be, so they just all doubled the prices, and now they're in stock. You've just got to pay a ridiculous price for them.
As long as they can control the inventory, they can keep doing it too. It would take the supply exceeding their capacity to buy for that to actually technically equalize to what it normally would be for actual retailers. Yeah, it's a tricky situation. I don't know.
Very, very tricky. But back to the original source of. I'm glad you did find a PS5, and hopefully those few games that we were able to tell you about, maybe you can have some fun with them. I think you'll definitely have some fun with several of those games for sure.
Like the super chat discussion.
Yeah. Georgia Molo for two $100 super chats.
Thank you,
Hollywood is throwing everything they have at us, plus the kitchen sink. Winners don't behave that way. When you're winning, you don't notice anything but the next obstacle or the mountain peak. Only losers spend their time whining to make the world as angry and as sad as they can. Number two, it may take a while, but the wins are slowly racking up with Geeks and Gamers at the tip of the spear, and the end game win is getting ever closer and ever near. All hail the amazing panel, all hail the chat, and the incredible Geeks and Gamers. Hail George Molo. I am going to go ahead and tell everybody about his channel just because of all the support. George is obsessing over freaking subs right now, and I keep telling him not to, but he's freaking out because that's what YouTube life does to you.
Subs don't matter. I don't have as many subs as Jeremy's channel, but I've been getting way better views than his dumbass has. So.
So right here, there's George's channel. Can we get him to 3K? I think he needs about 300, and we can get him to 3K. George makes great content, much like Upper Echelon and Disparu. He makes really good content. So definitely go check out George. I love the dude. He's awesome. And so mods, obviously, check out, his channel and get some links in the comments. Shout out to George, the Giant Slayer. Actually making awesome content. So really happy to call you my friend, buddy, and I appreciate all of the support. You are the man. And we've got a couple more, so let me get to that one. Ruben, I am
What's up,
in.
Ruben?
Configured a new gaming PC and ready to play Halo. Note, I have never played video games. So is there a website or a videos to learn more about gamer setups? I see you all have a great time, and I am ready to have fun. That is awesome, Ruben. Me and Ryan.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Ruben's a great guy. Me and Ryan can work with you.
Yeah, we can help you out.
100%.
Like, listen, if you go to if you just Google DSP tries it Halo Infinite, you know everything you need to not do.
No, Ruben's a great guy, and I'm glad that our enthusiasm for some of these games, because look, as many problems as there is in the video game industry, there are some good games out there, and Halo Infinite is one of those games. It's absolutely one. I would just recommend starting at the beginning with Halo. I would recommend playing the campaign for Halo Combat Evolved, and then playing the campaign through 2 through 3. Play the campaigns just to get the feel for the gameplay. That's what's going to teach him the weapons and the story and the lore, and then that'll what build you up for the multiplayer aspect of it. So just all you got to do is purchase the Master Chief Collection, and that gives you all the games you need right there. So that's what I would recommend. If he's never played games before, he don't need to get thrown into Halo multiplayer for his first video game ever.
No.
So I would say start out with Combat Evolved and
do campaigns.
Do the campaigns. That gets you the feel for it. You are a long way away from playing Halo multiplayer, my friend. So play the campaigns right now, and then move into more of the multiplayer aspect. Me and Ryan can help you out. That ain't no problem, as long as you don't bring up Oreos. Apparently, right here, I like Ryan's passion about Oreos. Got me laughing hard at work. Ryan has not been that upset about anything all night. And then Krista Nova bringing out the regular Oreo. That's what made Ryan mad.
It's fucking sickening, bro. Like, we have evolved, like Rip said, as a society past regular stuffed Oreos. Double stuff is the standard. Regular Oreos are ground up and put as like ice cream toppings and shit like that, or what you put into a blizzard. Is you don't just consume it by itself. Like, that is completely unforgivable.
Dude, I
can't even talk right.
That's all I eat is regular Oreos. I'm gonna cry myself to sleep, dude. Like, he's going hard.
What is wrong with you? Upper echelon, man.
All right, so that's another poll.
I can't fucking stay.
No.
Oh man.
Oh god, regular Oreos, and then double stuff. Let me see, double Oreos. Okay, so here's in the chat. What are we gonna get? And
I know you fucking Krista Nova simps. I know you'll be out there. It won't matter. We're still gonna dominate this poll.
So there it is, right there.
We're getting a popular vote. We're getting electoral college. It doesn't matter. We're winning it. Double stuffed Oreos.
All right, Krista, do you have a pitch you want to make for everybody in the chat? Is it double stuffed or singles? Or I don't know. You probably still prefer double stuff. We're just roasting you.
I'm okay with whatever. It's just all I got.
Typical Canadian answer. Typical Canadian answer.
Well, that was probably like, yeah. I was gonna say Jeremy kind of set her up there to get something clipped out. Chris, did you prefer double stuff or?
She has no idea what you're talking about, probably.
I know. That's why you're lucky she didn't give a more detailed response.
All right. So double stuff that are winning right now. I have a feeling the only reason 39% is because they're trying to help Krista out. That's really the only reason. So upper echelon is apparently rocks the single Oreos too. That's an awful take.
Well, now I wish I hadn't said anything. Like, I should have kept my mouth shut.
Yeah. The only way we're going to change culture is if we shame people. All right. So I'm working on it.
Spider and Loom says, I heard Ripa had to rely upon gadgets rocks to beat Uche. Same thing with Mario Kart. Items are shortcuts, no racing. Thanks, Jeremy.
He's fake news. It was Uche that's zip lining around because it's silly behind. Didn't know how
Do
to
you
set
have a
the room
clip?
properly.
Do you have that clip where he's trying to jump over the entire wall?
Yeah, I can get
you
it.
got to pull that shit up.
You
got to pull that shit up.
I can get it.
And then we got George again. Ryan's great Oreo rant of 2021 is worth it. Here, my brother, you can buy a case. Hey, all hail to the double stuffed king. Ryan.
Put it in the chat.
Thank you, George. Yeah, like it's actually funny. I sent Krista like a shit ton of Oreos like a year and a half ago because she lives in Canada, which is basically a third world fucking country, and they only have like 5 different types of Oreos when you go to the grocery store there. So I sent her like all the different types of Oreos I could find. It cost me like $100 fucking to ship it to Canada.
They were so good. I ate them all within a week.
That's embarrassing.
Oh, man. That is Ryan, can you share Ripa's the link he dropped in the private chat? So this is where this is funny as hell, dude. This is funny as hell.
This is representative of me and Uche's 1v1 on Halo. That's for fucking sure.
But
yeah, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, this is funny as hell right here. I don't know if Upper Echelon probably hadn't seen this one, so you're gonna enjoy this. So Upper Echelon, this is Uche, who's part of Geeks and Gamers, former NFL football player who talks more shit than any human should have business talking. He gets destroyed in every game he talks shit about.
Oh, this is gonna be good then, isn't it?
So he spent all day talking shit to Ripa about Halo, and then on a Tuesday night main event, Ripa's like in the chat. He's like, "Yo, I gotta bounce for a minute. I gotta go beat Uche's ass, and I'll be back." So this is like while Tuesday night main event's going on.
True.
Ripa leaves, and then this is what's going on right here, Ripa, so we can set
So
the stage for
obviously, but we're playing. This is our second game, so I'd already whooped his ass the first game. This is the second game to 15, and in this clip, it's basically representative of what he was doing. I was being the one that was aggressive the entire time, because he's scared for his fucking life. I actually watched his vibe, and he's crouch walking, doing all kinds of shit, running away from it. And I was on the hunt the entire night, and this scene really embodies what I was dealing with that entire game as I whooped his ass.
Here we go.
Look at him.
Oh no!
Running for his life. Running. Oh, give me away. Let me get away.
Oh, my favorite is like you can almost see the moment where it changes. Like he jumps at you, and then he's like, "No, around the corner."
He's like, I'm out of here. Like, he's like, I'm for sure gonna lose this fucking gunfight. I'm out of here, man. He tried to leave, man. That man tried to leave. And just sitting there watching a buddy hop his stupid ass in the corner was just something to behold.
This right here, this is just perfect.
Let me get away.
Oh man.
That was the entire night, man. That was the entire 2 games. Him just on the run, man. I was on the run. He was on the run.
I wish I could have been there, like, to hear with like the kind of shit Uche would talk to, like, you know, Patriots defensive linemen. You know what I mean? Playing as a Jacksonville Jaguar, you know.
Yeah, because he's got a lot of confidence. He's no shortage of that, despite him not being very good at video games. He is as confident as I've ever heard anybody. You would have thought anybody that was just an onlooker would have thought, oh man, he's got to be cold as shit the way that he's talking on Twitter. Call himself Halo Head and all this other shit. And yeah, that guy's far from it, man. He's just a very mediocre video gamer.
It's so damn funny, man. It's so damn funny. Spiderland says, just kidding, Rip is to go to Halo. People who want to learn how to play should watch his Twitch.
I'm pretty fucking like that's not a high side. Like I'm of all like the competitive FPSs. I'm good at COD, but probably I mean you can make the argument better at that. I am Halo, but I'm pretty fucking good at Halo. So we got a good like Jay Hailstorm's really good. You know, Lethal's really good. So it's, you know, watching us play is got to be fucking entertaining. I'm
like infinitely better at Halo than I am at Call of Duty.
Dude, you are the most like one match, Ryan will go like 28 and like 6, you know, lead the team, and on cue the next match
I'll be like 2 and 12 to start it or something.
It's awful. It's every time. He's no.
It's because my play style. It's because my play style, which works in Halo, extremely aggressive. But I just don't like. It does not work for me in Call of Duty, and I can't be patient. I can't sneak around corner. Like I can't peek around. Like I am just like fucking go to the action.
That's why you would have. That's why you would have loved the Titanfall 2, because that's what Titanfall 2.
I like Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2 is all about aggressive, fast pace. There's no camping in Titanfall 2. That's what made it so great. And it's
if you camp, you're a literal.
I don't want to talk about it.
If you camp, you're scum of the earth. You're a fucking like single stuff.
And that's what I love about Halo so much. Like that shit is frowned upon. You know what I mean? And you getting fucking teabagged if you get fucking you sitting your punk ass in the corner or something.
And it's kind of impossible because of the time to kill.
Yeah,
like it's impossible, because if you're in one of those freaking peeking holes, right? Unless you got the sniper rifle, you know, that's the one exception. But for the most part, it's just not something that's going to happen.
Yeah. Chris Varcella, Ryan, I heard you're a pope. Are you holding a mass on Christmas Day at the Vatican? Do you curse instead of bless people? So,
my God.
Oh my God.
Church should be in a lot better shape, I'll tell you that much. What would be my pope name?
No telling with that one. No telling.
Just Pope Ryan.
It's just Pope Ryan. Culture Casino, fudge Oreo poll. Let's get the steak thing settled. Rare, medium rare, or medium. I count on Geeks and Gamers for the things that really matter. Come on now. Plus, I haven't played the new Halo, and I will still whoop Jeremy the first time. Culture Casino. Krista, why don't you go ahead and get us I don't know if you're signed into Geeks and Gamers, or Ryan, you could probably do it. Get a poll for the steak.
Well, where's medium well? Rippa needs the answer in that.
Yeah. Mid well is the answer. So I mean, it's just a fact. So
mid well.
Yeah.
You know, some people get so mad. They're like, if you don't eat it rare, you're not human.
Oh,
I'm like, whoa.
Yes.
Like, what happened?
Just bite into the cow.
That's Krista. That's Krista right there. So she's vicious. Like they're like, oh, she's so sweet.
So good.
They're like, oh, she's so sweet and innocent. Yeah, until you tell her you don't eat medium rare, and then she turns into the devil.
Look at everyone saying medium rare in chat. You guys are normal.
Her thing is steak and his is Oreos. Okay, all right. I know to avoid those two things.
I think that medium rare is kind of like the popular. That's like what everybody says. I think you should do. I personally like it medium well as well.
Yep.
So
Hmm.
burgers medium, steaks medium well.
I eat it
Black
burnt
Hat
like
is-
a man.
Hell
no, just
yeah.
kidding. I don't.
Hell
I definitely
yeah.
don't. No way.
Black Hat says, Disparate, thanks for the Wheel of Time videos. These are like therapy for me.
I get a lot of comments like that actually, because I know what it was like. I did the first review, and then I went out to look at other people's videos, and everyone's just like, "This is amazing! This is the most perfect TV show I've ever seen." And you kind of feel like you're going insane. And then as the weeks have
That's
gone
how
on,
it works.
slowly more people are coming out and being like, "No, this is actually awful." So
Like Game of Thrones season 8.
Like fucking anything Marvel. You motherfuckers saccharide everything out of there like it's the greatest goddamn thing in the world. I'm like, the fuck? Did we watch the same fucking movie? Like, the fuck are you talking about? Like,
What I can't wait for is for Spider-Man No Way Home to make like $1.3 billion, and they're gonna be like, "Look, Marvel's king," and then we're gonna be like, "You just told me that the reason Eternals lost money, the reason Black Widow lost money, the reason Shang-Chi only made about 5 cents was because of COVID, because of the pandemic, all these things." But you're gonna turn around and be like, "Look at Marvel, look at what we can do in the box office with Spider-Man."
yeah, it'll make it self-detonating. That's true.
Mhm.
Point.
Yeah, so it's gonna impeach their other takes on that.
Yeah, it's gonna completely delegitimize them. It's a good point.
Yep. All right, the poll is up. So you can only do 4 options, so you can't put all 5. So I guess medium well would also be well done. I guess I don't know how you do that. So
No.
but it's the right answer is medium well or well done. I take either. As
Like
as the right
Trump
answer.
with ketchup on it.
I eat it with ketchup too. So yeah, I do, and so does the 45th president of the United States of America. So clearly we have great taste right there. So.
I wonder
All
what
right.
Trump thinks about In-N-Out.
I mean, after what they've done in California recently, I'm sure he's a big fan.
I don't care about that. I want to know his opinion on the food.
I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's successful. So, have you ever had In-N-Out Burger upper echelon?
Yeah, I mean, oh man, people are probably gonna roast me for this one.
No,
I don't know what.
I'm with you. I'm with you, buddy. I know what you're gonna say.
I have no idea what was so special about it. I
He's
just
like,
don't
I came
know.
here to talk gaming. These fuckers are just throwing me on. I'm getting raked over the coals on food topics now.
I just couldn't figure it out. They were like, you have to have, what was it, the animal fries? You have to have the animal fries. You have to. I'm like, they're fries. Like, I don't understand.
It's like
I love it.
It's like a 6 experience, right? It's pretty good. It's a good burger, but it's not the hype level that everyone makes it out to be.
It absolutely is. It is the greatest fast food joint ever.
You just disrespected our guest, Jeremy.
So,
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I don't have a sophisticated palate, man. I clearly, I don't know.
That's true. You do. I don't know. You do have single stuff Oreos.
I was literally gonna say, I was like, I eat single stuffed Oreos. I don't know if my opinion counts.
we are one more upper echelon gaming stream away from just creating a food wars channel, and we're getting there. You know, so you know how we operate. You know how we operate around here. Might as well just create a food wars channel now. So, all right, let me catch up a couple things real quick. George,
I do know. I do real quick. I know upper echelon has to take off.
Yeah.
I got a bit of an early day gym stuff.
Yeah,
but it was a pleasure, guys. I just want to say thank you for having me on again.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. It was a good talk too. It's fun to like shoot the shit and go off on random tangents about stuff. Especially, you know, with discourse being what it is, it's fun to just like hang out and talk to a bunch of people and, you know, discuss fun topics.
I know last time we had you on, and it was a long time ago, you'd mentioned wanting to do more of these, and so I mean, we can, you know, we'll definitely hit you up, man. And anything you got going on. I mean, I know you're big into alt tech. I mean, I know you got locals, you're on Odyssey, you know, you've got a lot of different things in the works. So anything you want to plug, man, let everybody know where they can find you.
Easiest one is just Upper Echelon Gamers at YouTube. That's my biggest outlet. You watch a video, everything's in the description. Trying to keep it simple. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff down there, all sorts of different outlets. Different places if you don't like YouTube or whatever it is. So yeah, thank you again, everybody. I'm gonna take it easy, go to bed here. But awesome to be on, and I look forward to it. Definitely hit me up. And since I'm banned on Twitter, obviously, email upperechelongamers at Yahoo. Yeah, cool. Ryan has it.
Right on, man. Right on, man. Take it easy,
guys.
buddy. All right, appreciate you,
man.
All right, bye. All right, so we got George for $25. Just put my steak near the fire and tell if it's cooked. I want to hear the moo. There you go, Krista. Get the moo. So 25. Thank you, George. Appreciate that. Yeah, this has turned into a food wars.
Yeah,
stream.
that's
Right
like
now-
when I worked at a restaurant back in the day when I was in high school. Like there were dudes that worked there. They would literally take a steak, they'd throw it on there for about 15 seconds on either side, then they'd fucking eat it. It was like a competition to see who could get a bowl or something. Like I could not believe, I could not believe they would eat it like that.
Nightfall says I eat my Oreos like Ryan eats his cereal. That's the one thing me and Ryan agree on is how to eat cereal.
That's true.
That's it. So, medium rare or like where are you at on this, Ripper? What'd you say? Did you say
yeah,
medium well? Okay, good man. Good man.
Or if shit really either that or well, I'll eat either of them bitches.
I saw Ripper devour a fucking steak.
Yeah, it was a big one, like fucking T-bone joint.
Like it was nothing.
I fucking destroyed that damn thing.
That's when Jade told the waiter that I was deaf or something.
Yeah.
Because I came in there just talking loud as shit. Because that's just how I talk. But
oh man, yes, Ryan is very loud and very obnoxious in person, just like he is on YouTube. So I mean, there's no difference. There's literally no difference. Trust me, I can confirm that. I think another thing I wanted to touch on really quick was Spider-Man: No Way Home. Rippa is no desire to see it. So
none, zero. But it's the number one asked question for sure.
It 100% is
getting from everybody. Am I like? I mean, I was at Blaze today, doing a bunch of shows, and that was the number one question even there because hey, comic guy, we expect you, and I'm like, nah, bro, I'm literally not interested. Like, I had to get reminded that the bitch was about to drop anyway, but I'm just so checked out on these fucking guys that I just don't fucking care, man. Like, and I think. To be fair, yeah, a lot of it has to do with the direction. I mean, I'm not a fan of Tom Holland's Iron Boy. I'm not interested in that anyway. But also understand where I'm at right now, just in life, with me kind of entering that creative space as a comic book guy. The more in detail or in depth that we get with that project, the less interested I get in Marvel and what already exists. So I have to kind of that's a big part of it that I'm kind of doing my own thing that makes me be like, man, I'm not fucking interested.
Yeah. It's going to be massive. It is, and it's all one. It's an indictment of the direction Marvel's going because all this other shit they're trying to push, no one's interested in. But then you bring it back to one of the OGs, arguably the most popular comic book character when you're looking at, Superman, Spider-Man, Batman.
At least Marvel minimum is their most popular character.
For sure.
Would you say like a Wolverine there too, though? I mean,
I would say
below Spider-Man.
I would say number one is Spider-Man.
He doesn't have the. I guess he doesn't have the commercial success that Spider-Man. But I feel like in the comic world, I feel like Wolverine's just as important as Spider-Man in the comic world.
But like,
in
the '90s, X-Men became so big in the '90s. Obviously, between the cartoon and everything. Yeah,
but Spider-Man is still like the number one. Their number one hero for sure, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think the top three superheroes, like if you're looking at history, you're looking at Superman. Spider-Man, Batman in some form of order, and so, but it's a white male hero, OG fans. Everybody understands who that is. Everybody wants to see a Spider-Man movie. All of a sudden, that's getting the traction. That's not what they want, but that's what's happening. And you have to factor in that they're using two other massive franchises in Spider-Man Toby and Spider-Man Andrew.
That's the biggest part of it, the nostalgia bait. I would argue that's the biggest part of why people are so like antsy.
That's 100%. That's why I'm interested.
It's the nostalgia.
I'll admit it,
sure.
and I'll admit that. Like that's 100% why I'm interested because of Toby. Yeah. And I wonder. I hope they don't bring him out in a fucking dress, and identify. I mean, I do worry about that. I know. But that's it because I don't like Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. I don't. I mean, again, I don't hate them. I don't think they're the worst things ever, but I do not like them as much.
It's not the role Spider-Man should have. It's not. It's not Spider-Man, right? It's Iron Boy. Yeah. It's not the origin story you want from him. It's not the way that Spider-Man should have developed as a character. Are there good things about these movies? Yeah, I think so. I think in the right with the right direction and with the right writing in a different universe, Tom Holland, I think, could have been a really good Spider-Man and Peter Parker, potentially, but just not the way that they did it and how reliant they made him on this technology and this suit and on Tony Stark and this father complex he has with Tony. Just doesn't work for me. But,
Yeah.
you know, this is the first Marvel movie I'm going to see since Endgame. You know, that's it for me. It's the first one.
Is this the first one I've seen in?
And I think, and the fact is, this is a Sony property. This is a Sony movie that is being made right now. So what I've seen from a lot of people that I do trust who have seen it, they're saying that it's not typical Marvel. It's not woke. It is a good fucking movie. That's what a couple of people that I've seen have said. They haven't given me too many details specifically on spoilers or anything like that. But it's because it's Sony that's doing this. Now, Kevin Feige's involved. Disney gets 25% of the profits from this movie. Sony gets the rest of the 75%. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I want to jump back into the Miles Morales stuff here in just a minute, but the steak ended at 49% medium rare, 30% medium well, 11% well done, 8% rare. Eric K, medium rare on the rare side, unless you're a monster. So there you go with that. So people are passionate about this topic. They're very, very passionate about this topic indeed. All right. So somebody said that Toby is a bait and switch for Miles Morales. Do we think that's a possibility? Now, I know Ripa hadn't been following the ins and outs of this movie, but Ryan, do we think Miles Morales is going to be introduced in this?
I don't think so. But the reason I don't think so is because with the fact that people have seen it now, with the fact that these spoilers are out there, I just feel like we would see something by now. You know, I really do. And we know what's going to happen with Andrew and Toby. And if you've looked into the soundtrack, they've revealed another spoiler for a character who dies, actually. I won't say that here because I know there's a lot of people that actually care about this one. But you can look it up. Just look up Spider-Man soundtrack spoiler, and you'll see. It's just as bad as when Phantom Menace soundtrack came out and it said Qui-Gon's funeral. It basically spells it out that plainly about someone who's going to die in this movie. But I don't know, man. I don't know about the Miles Morales. I do think they will eventually introduce him because let's be honest.
Not a doubt fucking about it. Like there's no
it's
way
exactly what they want.
That's it. They're gonna do that at some point, but I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but I have no fucking idea what they're gonna do. But I think Spider-Man for me, I did a video like a while back talking about kind of Marvel's oversaturation problem with Spider-Man. I hated the implementation of, and this isn't something that started like yesterday, right? The whole, web of spider, this idea that this is web of multi dimensions where fucking goddamn Aunt May is a fucking spider person, like all of this ridiculous shit. Like it's fucking like it really cheapens Spider-Man because there's so many of them. You know what I mean? And I never was a fan when they went that direction in the books. And I just like seeing Tom Holland and how he interacts. And I think this is why my perspective kind of gets lost with a lot of folks, because I never go into these movies like as a normie, for lack of better terms, right? It's impossible for me to do that because I think people need to understand it's like a fucking encyclopedia up here. I've read so fucking much material over my span of my entire life of this. So I have a standard, right? And I think that's absolutely fair considering how much fucking money I done spent over the years on this stuff. And when I get something and it's dog shit or it's not like anything, like we get Captain Marvel, you know what I mean? And it's Marvel's a woman because reasons, and it's not even fucking Marvel at all anyway. Like I can't tolerate that shit. So when I see the most prominent standalone hero in Spider-Man, yeah, he's been, he linked up with Fantastic Four, he's linked up with the Avengers. Looking up to fucking Tony Stark, I need people to understand that is criminal. Like that's literally criminal. Like that should never happen under any circumstance, considering who Peter Parker is. Yet in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that's like the identifier for who that character is, and his relationship with Tony Stark. I cannot take that shit serious. I can't take it seriously at all. And some say, it's a knock on Tom. I don't really care whose fault it is, me personally, but that ain't fucking Peter Parker. I don't know who he is. I call him Iron Boy, but that's not Peter Parker. And more importantly, how he interacts with these other heroes is not Peter Parker at all. And the nostalgia bait kind of has people more interested in maybe seeing a more accurate form of him, maybe in a Toby, and I would argue easily that Andrew's more accurate than fucking Tom Holland is, as well as, and it's those two, and it's not even fucking close to how terrible fucking Tom Holland is as a Spider-Man, if we're talking about who Peter Parker is. But for a lot of people, that and this is why the Miles Morales thing kind of popped out. For a lot of people, put a motherfucker in a suit, have him swinging around and with a web, and that's good enough to be fucking Spider-Man as far as they are concerned, because they don't know shit about Spider-Man. That's why, if they did bring Miles, I wouldn't be fucking surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'm not saying that's going to happen, though.
Well, so this is one thing that kind of got some people going on Twitter. And so I'm trying to find it. I got so many fucking tabs open. It's like Ryan right now. I got so many tabs open. So right here. So I retweeted a tweet from Ripa. Okay. And Yellow Flash is the one that started all this anyway. So he started on a live stream in terms of getting people worked up on Twitter. So
well, I think honestly, like Gary tweeted it a few days before that and got like massive backlash from it, right? And then I think when Gary was on Flashcast, they all tweeted it out. Gary, I think, tweeted out again. Flash tweeted it out. Ricada tweeted it out. And that just started this avalanche.
Oh yeah,
once again.
They're just so mad. So now Ripa wasn't playing into that per se as much as he just saw probably a lot of people just talking about the greatness of Miles Morales. And this is something, if you go to Ripa's channel, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. You've got
I've been
a video
talking about this forever, man.
So so Ripa's got a lot of great videos on this. He's debated people on it, and so Miles Morales is a dog shit tokenized rendition of a Black Peter Parker, and with a taper fade and the Jordan 1s. There's nothing regarding his personality or character that we haven't already seen from a version of Peter or another copy of him. There's no reason to pretend otherwise. So I retweeted it. White leftists about to start crying and virtue signaling get popcorn. That's a factual statement. That's exactly what was going to happen. That's exactly what was going to happen. So now and this is where leftists don't get it. Okay. They don't understand the concept of people having an opinion, but also admitting that, even though I liked Into the Spider-Verse, and I thought Miles Morales was a fine character in that. I'm not a comic guy like Ripa is or anything, but they seem to think that I can't have the opinion that I like Into the Spider-Verse, because they'll never admit that, because that blows away the narrative that I'm a racist that hates Black people. But I liked Into the Spider-Verse, but I also 100% understand that Miles Morales is a tokenized character. He literally is. The whole point.
It's not an opinion.
The whole point of his existence proves that they don't have confidence in a Black character enough to create that character from the ground level, give him his own identity, his own story, and build it up over the course of, how long does it take? 10 years, 20 years? It takes a long time to establish these characters. And they don't want to do that because they don't have a confidence in a Black person to do that. So they just want to take a historically famous white character and hijack that mythology and just give it to a Black guy. And that is disrespectful to Black people. It's disrespectful to the readers. It's disrespectful to the creators of the character. It's disrespectful to the character. It's disrespectful to literally every fucking body. That is a fact with Miles Morales. He exists to be a token. That's it. That doesn't mean you can't like him. Yeah,
and that's what I've said before. Like I've said, not all tokenized characters are equal, and I've stated, like, and I make it abundantly clear, like, this isn't my opinion. When I talk about him being a tokenized character, it's not an opinion. Like, I'm not arguing an opinion here. I am arguing a fact. If you take the definition that I've historically used, if you take the definition of even what fucking Webster uses when they talk about basically it being a doing something for the sake of symbolism, that's literally what the creation of Miles Morales was. It's not an opinion. I'm not gonna sit here and I get that people like the character, right? I call him Peter Darker. I think that's the more proper term, because that's all that that he fucking is. But like understanding that you can separate that pisses them off, and them understanding that they can't outwit me on this topic because I own more Miles fucking Morales comics than they ever had. I own them. I have read. Matter of fucking fact.
He pulling the receipts.
Receipts. I got the bitches graded. Like this is the number, and I'm gonna sell it to one of these fucking normies probably for $3,000 fucking dollars. This is the first issue of his original series in 2011. I own all of these. I own all of them. I own literally all of the Ultimate Comics that he appeared in. I own them. You know what I mean? So it's like for someone to sit up there and try to act like, oh, and that was some of the comments like, oh, he's never read. Nobody can read. No, you never read a motherfucker. That's why you don't know. They have no understanding of why he was conceptualized. It was specifically to piggyback off the biracial nature of Barack Obama. And they thought, well, we're about to kill off Peter Parker. Why don't we fucking make him kind of embody what we got out of the Obama situation? Specifically why he was created, to check a box. It's not my opinion. That's not my opinion. It's not my opinion as a fact.
And you're arguing with people who don't know what a short box is, who don't know what a long box is because they don't buy comics. And that's the point. They are drawn to defend a black character on Twitter because that's all they can do. But they either don't have the money or don't actually have the care to support these things. And it's a different thing to say like, I like Miles or I don't like Miles versus they're a tokenized character. You could argue that Miles Morales and She-Hulk are maybe the two more successful Marvel tokenized characters that we've seen.
Yeah.
That is like being the tallest midget. We've seen the sales of these characters. We've seen that they're still not really embraced by everybody.
That's true.
Yeah, they might be the best tokenized characters, I guess, but that doesn't make them not tokenized characters.
Yep, that's the fact. Yeah. And again, if they were as enthusiastic about getting mad at me or Yellow Flash, they go buy the fucking books. Go look at the data that's available. You go to Comic Con right now. Go look at the data that's available when like before the diamond switch and all of that sort of stuff happened. Like let's say March or April of 2020. Miles Morales had damn near the 70th top selling book, meaning it was at the fucking bottom because they're not buying the shit. And that's on his own fucking series, Miles Morales Spider-Man, because nobody's interested in that. The Ultimate Comics that were coming out of him, nobody was fucking interested in these. He was created to appeal, and this is why a medium such as movies, something like that, is going to be far more successful because it's a normie medium. But these guys aren't actual fans of they like the idea of Miles. They're not a fan of him per se. They just like the idea, which is why they have to mention superficial things to try to make it seem like he's so different. They even gave the motherfucker a clone saga. Like that's how much of a copy he is of Peter Parker that he got us clone saga. All of his iconic villains are all Spidey villains. The first suit we see him in, even in the movie, which I think was overrated, the first suit he gets is just a painted Peter Parker suit. Like we know what he is. We know who he is, and there's no shame in admitting, even if you like it, even if you're like, I think this is cool because reasons, fine. But there is nothing from that character that we have not already seen. Even his fucking Venom powers, we saw that out of Spider-Woman. Like there's no version of there's nothing about him, not what's around him. I'm talking about him that we haven't already seen out of a version of Peter Parker or other copy. Even that suit, the black, like we saw that with Spider-Man 2099. You know, like it's not new. Nothing is here is redefining anything. But they like the idea of them, and this is why they get so fucking frustrated at guys like me because they can't outwit me on this topic. Y'all saw that, and I don't know if we can pull that up.
Which one?
The tweet that Ryan's kind of referencing. The guy said,
"Ryan, pull it up."
Tell me how to." He said something about tell me you don't read.
Here, let him pull. He'll pull it up real quick. I'll cover this before we pull it up. But yeah, so this is part of my retweet of Ripa, and this is where these idiots don't understand. And it goes, we all know Vito's a fucking loser. We know that. I know he, fooled a bunch of
he's a conservative hero.
Yeah. Apparently he's a conservative hero. A bunch of fucking right-wing nut jobs like, oh, there's a guy we can claim a hero just because he fucking held up a sign. But
he triggered the libs.
Yeah, so I mean, so this was a whole thing that this was coming off of my discussion, about all that. So he's like, "How exactly is it only SJWs?" And I'm like, "Because you're a fat loser, and I'm trying to get content, and you're walking right into it." So you get mad by lying about what Spider-Man character you like, stunning and brave. I said, "Where did I lie about my opinion of Miles Morales?" Here's where the goalpost shifts. Oh, right. You just promote and celebrate other people's tweets calling him a shitty token, but you secretly like him. How the fuck can I secretly like when I've literally fucking said I like him publicly and I have a video on my goddamn channel? This is what leftists don't understand, that friends can fucking agree on shit while still having their separate subjective opinions. Fucking idiots. These fucking people are stupid. And again, Vito capitalized off of a bunch of right-wing nut jobs that are just desperate to find someone that agrees with their message, apparently, and they were too stupid to realize that he was nothing more than a coward that was just trying to grift them. And that's what, and I use that term grift because he uses that term against me, because again, it's projection. So anyway, all of this was meant is for me to give us a topic so we could give the floor to Ripa, because Ripa's a legitimate expert on this. And so that's the whole thing. I just wanted to talk about it tonight. Yellow Flash and Gary have been trolling the fuck out of these people, and we've been having a lot of fun with it because they can't understand it. They can't concept the idea that the people they've claimed are racist and hate black people and hate black representation, I can look at Into the Spider-Verse and go, that was a good movie. It was very entertaining. I appreciate how they intertwined everything. I thought Miles Morales was properly, like, he was respectably done in that movie, and I enjoyed it a lot. But he still exists because they have no respect for black people or black characters. So they decided this black guy is not good enough for an story on his own, so we're going to hijack a historically great white character and just give him his story. That is the definition of a token character. Yeah, it literally is. And anybody that says different doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, because these people only view black characters as political opportunities. That's it. That's all it is. They are so desperate to prove to you that they're not racist. I'm not racist. I like Miles Morales. You're literally racist if you like Miles Morales for that reason, because you don't like him for any reason other than he's black and you can pretend that you like him. Yep. Floor is yours.
Well, my favorite part is when they say, well, why don't you ask a black person how they feel about being represented by Miles Morales? And then we're like, here's Ripa. They're like, well, he doesn't count. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think this is the one you're talking about, right, Ripa? Yeah.
This fucking weirdo, and this is the type of people that you generally going back and forth with on Twitter, if you guys want context. This guy said, tell me you, because responding to the tweet that obviously Jeremy was referencing. He says, tell me you know nothing about the character without telling me you know nothing about the character, which is hilarious that anybody would ever say anything like that to me. If there's one thing that I know, it's fucking comic books, bro. But I said there's 100% chance that I own more Miles Morales book than you do. And he tried the high side, and I called his bluff. I said, okay, let's play the game. I need you to show, and I've done this before. People know this isn't a new tactic. Show me a video of you with your long and your short boxes of these comic books, and then that'll at least let me know that you're equipped to even handle this situation. So this fucking idiot grabs, and you may look at this, and some people were trying to salvage it, saying, well, he just prefers to read the digital stuff. No. What this is, it's a self-owned. That is the Marvel Unlimited app, which is like $5 a month. Everybody has that if you pay them $5 a month. And the hilarious thing is
you get like every comic ever created.
Yeah. Everybody gets it. And the hilarious thing is, if you go, he's only read, he hasn't even read it, because under it would be a bar. Like there's a part where he clicks on it at some point.
It says continue reading as opposed to something else, which means he left off somewhere.
If he actually even read them, there will be a bar, an indicator like you see right there with issue number 1. Of that, where he only reads the first page.
LeBron, he's LeBron.
Yeah, he's LeBron and Malcolm X. That's who it is. That's who he is. He's LeBron, because that shit's not anywhere.
He's only read one page of issue 1. Look, nothing else.
That's it. He's a fraud. These are the people that you're arguing with. I call them Google normies all the time because everything that they like, again, I'm being honest here. These guys like the idea of Miles. They like that. And that's why he was created. The idea that there's a half black Spider-Man. They like the idea of him. They don't actually know who this character is, which is why they get so frustrated at me bringing up a fact that this guy he's Peter Darker with a taper fade. That's who he is. That's not my opinion here. If you like him or whatever, that's fine. Your business. But he's not original almost in any sense. The differences that they have are like completely superficial. You know what I mean?
Well,
like this is a fact.
I will say, listen, it is a subversion. It is a subversion of
this.
Expectations that, you know, the black character has his dad around and the white one doesn't. I will say that.
Yeah,
Rippa didn't know this, so I don't know if he's prepared for this, but I actually have an image of Mr. 5'5" actually reading the Miles Morales books right there. There he is. There he is right there. Getting all that knowledge right there. So
that's who these are the people that you're arguing with LeBron James, motherfucker. That's who you arguing with. Or these guys have no idea about it. They like the ideas. They'll make stand accounts. And to be fair, I actually think, and yeah, this kind of conspiracy theorist, but I think Disney is involved with this shit because it's kind of weird that these guys like. I feel like they're like searching for Miles Morales names and looking for fucking shit to get mad at.
I just think that there's a group of people between the age of 16 to 20 that have just been completely fucked up by TikTok and by the public school system and by all this shit. And they don't go out. They don't actually talk to anybody in anything other than like Discord or something like that. And this is just what they do all day. Yeah. I honestly think that's why you have these stan accounts that are like just dedicated to Ahsoka, like porn or something like that. Yeah, like that's literally all they do. They have built their entire, identities surrounding this because they have nothing else worthwhile in their lives.
That is true. It's very true. And if you see a lot of them, like if you click on their anime profile pictures and it's like all this, explicit sex shit. And it's like, weird, man. They're very weird. Disbrew, have you been following all of this? Like,
it's so weird to me, like that they can't comprehend where other people are coming from. Because it's like if you come home one day and your wife is no longer in the house and she's been replaced by a totally different woman, and she's like, "Look, I'll just do everything your wife did. I'll make the same meals. I'll sleep with you. I'll do everything that she did. I'll even talk the same and sound the same." And you're just like, "But I don't even know who you are." And she's like, "But I'm just like your wife." And you're like, "But I don't love you. Why don't you love me?"
Yeah.
How can you not understand the problem here? And I'm not tied to this in the least, but there's no argument
it's
that you
because
possibly
she's
got.
black, isn't she?
Yes.
It's like you're emotionally connected to this thing. I like this thing, and it's like, no, but you should like this thing. It's the same. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's they don't look, like I said, there's no arguments that these guys actually have. It's just strict emotionalism because they like the idea of who the character is. But they don't know him. They don't know anything about him. If you get to the nitty gritty with these guys, everything that they know about the character is gonna be on some fandom Wikipedia fucking site or something like that. They do not possess the knowledge base to know anything about him. And also, I would argue that more importantly, in order to understand where we're coming from, you'd have to know who Peter Parker is. You know what I mean? And if you think that Peter Parker is just guy in suit, swinging red blue suit, swinging around, then yeah, you may come to the dumbass conclusion that Miles Morales is so different. You know what I mean? But that's far more than who he is. And you would have to have that knowledge base to understand why basically Miles' entire existence is biting off of him and trying to piggyback off the brand that is recognizable and understandable and digestible because people know it and it works. It's proven to work. It's a method that works. So now you palette swap. And to Jeremy's point, and this is the point that I've made many a times, it's fucking insulting. Because these are often the black characters that get highlighted. Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing that right now. They took the one aside from the people that are tied to the Black Panther universe, there was a character that was black that they had that was original. His name was Falcon. What are they doing with fucking Falcon right now?
Turn him into the white man right there. Turn him into
same shit because they only see and they try to signal, well, there's multiple versions of this character. That's not the argument here, because the reason why Falcon is especially egregious because he's one of the more old school original black characters, and he got a demotion because you then had to give him the sloppy seconds of Mr. White Man, Steve Rogers, and being Captain America, when there was nothing wrong with him being Falcon. That's who he is. He is Falcon. That's his original branding, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's what they do. And these people who call like me a self-hating black man, or they say you hate black people, or other people that are in a comic book space that hate black people, all that shit is projection. Because I'm not the one that accepts the sloppy seconds. They do that shit. They're the ones that only see legitimacy in classically white characters, not me. I'm the one that got to tell them about fucking Brother Voodoo and all these other characters that exist. And I'm like, you can just expand upon them. You can do what you did with Blade, right? People even forget fucking Blade's a Marvel fucking hero. You know what I mean? Blade.
Well, Black Panther was the first black.
Oh yeah,
superhero.
That's true. That's very true. It was Black Panther. It wasn't Blade. That trilogy didn't even exist.
It didn't exist. Yeah.
But no, seriously, like they only see legitimacy in white characters, and that's why they foam at the fucking mouth in the event that one of them are changed, and they get off on it. You've probably seen the posts from these stan accounts talking about, basically laughing, giggling, and bragging about every redhead that gets fucking basically swapped, and they're like, okay, who we coming for next? Basically, hell, you can't even have the historical figures, like actual people that existed, like Anne Boleyn, let alone fucking a character that's fictional, because to them they only see legitimacy in those. Like Africa, for example, has its own set of folklore, of mythology, and all of that, and it's very interesting if you actually look into it. Why do expand on that when you can just make white or rather black as guardians? Why that, which is based on Norse mythology, which I don't know if it gets any whiter than that shit. But on a serious, that's what they do. They get them. So you end up with Black Valkyrie, you end up with like Baron Mortar, you end up with these characters that have historically been one way, and they've been original, and they get fucking swapped because they only see legitimacy in white characters, and they too chicken shit to admit it. So they project and say, I hate myself, or you hate black people, when none of us here has ever said we don't like original black characters, or we don't prefer. Nobody said that. That's in our circle. Nobody's ever made that fucking claim. Yet they pretend that exists because that's how they fucking feel. They only see legitimacy in those white characters, so they think everybody else feels that way. And
I love the people that are always out there, talking about we need more representation and diversity and all this shit. And like, I wonder if any of those people watched any of the movies that I watched growing up, like Boys in the Hood or Juice or Above the Rim, like New Jack City. Those are movies that I literally watched and found enjoyment in. The problem is that the people that are in charge of these characters and the people that continue to support the diversity push, they don't appreciate black culture or black people. What they think is they think that the only thing that's relatable is a white culture. So they're trying to take the black character and turn them into something that was built on white culture and move them more into the white culture side of things. That is a fact. And any of these motherfuckers that say that they're for this stuff, those are the people that will run to the other side of the street when there's like 3 or 4 black guys walking towards them, and
the
so
chicken shit. They're all fucking chicken shit.
They are. And so like, and it's also about like not wanting, and I talked about this in one of my videos that I put up earlier today, but I talked about, that was a Stan Lee video talking about Stan Lee account being hijacked and being hijacked by people that they don't like. It's symbolic of everything else that goes on with these black characters or non-white dude characters, even the white women. Like, they don't want to build the foundation it takes. They don't want to go through the process it takes to build something. They just want that instant gratification and that instant return on their investment, meaning their time or whatever. So that's why it's better to hijack Star Wars with identity politics characters other than build everything up. It's why it's easy for them to take the EU away and then cherry pick the EU other than just build up their own universe. So I talked about it with Geeks and Gamers. When the people that hate me, they became aware of Geeks and Gamers like in 2018, whatever it was, 2019. They just instantly thought like that was the beginning of Geeks and Gamers, and that was me just capitalizing and grifting my way to the top. I started Geeks and Gamers in 2011. I lost money until 2018. I lost money. I lost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I went through second guessing myself. I went through, ups and downs, wondering if I'm making the right decisions. Is this worth it? Should I keep doing this? Should I just get a regular job? Should I just give up on my dream? Should I just stop because I'm tired of people looking at me sideways when I tell them what I'm trying to do and people laughing or not taking me seriously? All that shit that I went through built me for this. But in order to get to where I am, I had to go through that. And that's what every true story at its ground level has to go through. You got to go through the tough times. You got to go through the grind. You've got to be mentally strained through it all in order to be what you need to be to take it to the level it needs to go to. They don't want to do that at a level of a character. They just go, we don't want to build Falcon up on his own merits. We're just going to hijack the white man's journey and his story because we don't want to work for it. And that's symbolic of so many things today.
And this is why and this goes back to like the talent level that these guys just simply don't have. They're not good. They're terrible fucking writers. They're terrible fucking talents because their versions of how they write black characters are fucking memes anyway. Like they don't know, and that includes the black people that fucking write them as well. They don't know what the fuck they're doing because like what you just mentioned, that's something that transcends ideological, like race, ethnic background, gender, all of that sort of experience. This is what I've said on this show before, and I've said it on 50 million videos. It's the benefit often that classically white characters have gotten all throughout history. And that is that there's no social ill for a white, straight male character to fall back on. So everybody that is forced to write that character has to rely upon their own creativity. Now, that doesn't mean it's always going to work, but this is why Batman is Batman. This is why Spider-Man is Spider-Man. And this is why it took often decades upon decades for these characters to be developed, and they came up with some of these classic sort of storylines over the course of these last decades. They don't do that with black characters because they're mean. They write them like memes and they're incapable of fucking doing that. So they have to fall back on like a social ill. So they don't understand that, okay, if you presented a character that was black, and I'm gonna show them how to do it. But if you presented a character that was black and he had that experience, for example, that you were mentioning earlier, then people would support him no matter what the racial aspect of it was. If he's cool, he or she is cool and, something worth aspiring for, they would like that and they would embrace that. But they don't have the talent to make something like that happen. So they think it can't happen. Like this video that often goes around, and you guys probably got tagged in it. Some little black dude with a Superman.
Yeah, he's like, are you tired of anyone that's not a cis white man?
Yeah, that
little bitch. Yeah,
that cornball. I did a video actually going through all of his dumb shit that he mentioned. If you guys want to go fucking check that out on my channel.
To Ripa's point about memes, this is legendary.
Yeah, this is
it right here.
Black characters.
Yeah, this is it right here. This is it.
The way he leaps off of rooftops and flips backwards to face the camera before falling into a headfirst dive is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
It's memes, man. It's a meme. This is how they view black people and black characters as fucking memes.
Listen to the list. But do you think this guy has ever hung out with a black teen with exaggerated swagger? Listen to that voice one more time.
Maybe gay black teens.
Rooftops and flips backwards to face the camera before falling into a headfirst dive is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
black teens were on the DL or something.
Was stalking. He thought he was knocking it out the fucking park. Man, when he said that shit,
he's like, the blacks will really love this.
Yeah.
He's like, even Krista cringing at that one. Even Krista cringing at that.
Oh man,
you never heard that one, have you, Krista?
No, that was my first time seeing it.
It's memes, man. That's what they think of black.
God.
That was my first stream, I think, with that. When I bought Miles Morales, I was playing Spider-Man with exaggerated swagger of a young black teen.
teen. But we'll show them how to do it. Like I've talked about this with my own comic book. Like the first hero that you guys know about is a black character. And my I think before it's all said and done with, I think in a modern era, and I can't speak it into existence, but I will speak it into existence. that I'll be in possession of like one of the more modern era prominent black fucking characters. It's not an impossible thing. It takes fucking work, it takes dedication, and more importantly, it takes fucking talent to do it. But you can do it. You don't have to hyper emphasize the race. And people of all different ilks will embrace them. It's just those sad sacks that work for DC and Marvel don't know how to fucking do it. And so they think that it can't be done, or like that guy that, we were talking about, Ryan, thinks that, oh, well, nobody will ever support the original black characters. Like, no, when they're dog shit. He's like, the guy in that video was like, oh, well, nobody, I was the main one that was talking about Milestone and why there wasn't any hype. I don't know, maybe because they changed Static Origin to be in a Black Lives Matter protest. Maybe that had something to do with why people weren't fucking interested in the reboot of fucking Milestone. Or you got Vita Ayala's dumbass to actually go out there and write it. Maybe that had something to do with it, but it doesn't click for them. They just think they're old support. That's not how it works.
It takes time, man.
Yeah.
Like all these, we're talking about characters that have been around for decades and decades and decades. They were not icons when they first started. You can't expect to, write an original character and it becomes iconic overnight. That doesn't happen. It has to have a path. It has to grow fans. You have to continue to give those people what they want, tell an interesting story along the way. Like, that's how you have to do it. And these companies are not willing to do that.
I can beat your decades, because over here BBC started changing Anne Boleyn, like literally a Queen of England, and now she's suddenly black. And then there was the BBC changed. There was a load of Roman invasion posters. It looked like the rest of the world. You wouldn't know that between an international airport and a Roman invasion. It's like like when you're literally changing history, and then people are like, but that didn't happen. Like, oh my god, you must be racist if you think that. It's like, no, it actually happened. You can't just go and change this stuff. It matters.
And Anne Boleyn's it's not just like, oh, we've got a black person, maybe the light skin. No, it's like sub-Saharan. Like they're just going full out with Anne Boleyn.
She's darker than I am. They I don't know what the fuck they were doing.
It's like literally the Queen in 1536, and that'll definitely work.
I just don't understand it, but that's just where we're at with media, man, and why we got to start coming up with our own shit, because they're not gonna give it to us, man. And if they do, it'll be too fucking late. You know what I mean? We'll be done blown up by there.
Yep.
Did you guys see the audience score for Anne Boleyn?
No,
did not. Oh, while you're doing that, I'm gonna catch up. And so we got super chats over on Odyssey, or we got hyper chats on Odyssey. We got super chats on YouTube. We've got Streamlabs to get to. I've been trying to manage them the best I can throughout the night, guys. So I appreciate you being patient with me. We got Loose Cannon says Captain Karen has a stronger jaw than Jeremy. Let's see, Josh. Let's see, Krushki says, when you give people the power to do stuff for you, do not complain when they do stuff for you. Holy shit.
It's got to be like one of the lowest ever, surely.
Damn. Yeah, it's lower than Santa Inc.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
I believe they'll probably blame it on white supremacy.
Of course they will.
There's the Gilk man back in 2017 on this week is when I met Jeremy and got to realize the full beauty of Geeks and Gamers. Much love to all the team. Bet you regret meeting me, LOL. In all seriousness, much love. Nah, Thomas, you're my boy. I appreciate everything you've done. You've always always believed in Geeks and Gamers, man. And I'm happy, that you're satisfied with everything we've done since then, because you supported us when no one knew who we were, man. So it's good to have you here, brother. I appreciate that. I know you sent another super chat earlier that I was definitely going to get to, but thank you, Thomas. I appreciate that, man. The whole thing is this thing is crazy, but that's why the Rippaverse is happening, and that's why, people create their own stuff. Whatever, like, creation happens in many different forms, and I think that a lot of people don't really understand that. Whatever you're creating, so creation is creation. Some of them impact things differently, but there's also a lot of nuance that goes along with it. So what Rippa is doing is massively important. With the Rippaverse, we have to have more people creating things, and I say that's frontline creation. What Rippa's doing, creating stuff on the front lines. What Gina Carano's doing, that's front lines. What Kamiskei's doing, that's front lines. When you're doing stuff on the front lines, that is important. But you also have things like Geeks and Gamers, and Geeks and Gamers is hopefully going to be replacing the Kotakus of the world, the IGNs of the world. That's what Barstool did with what they've done, they've kind of replaced ESPN in a lot of ways. And so you need that front line, the guys that are on the battleground up front, but you also need the support, you know, and I feel like that's what Geeks and Gamers and all that, you got to have the support. So without the whole process, like the reason Hollywood is so corrupt and entertainment is so corrupt is because they've had the shill media doing their dirty work for them. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're the ones putting the messaging and shit out there. So you got to have all of it. Then you have other things that people are creating, whether it be still Dan Bass, for instance. That's a frontline guy. Dan Bass, Friday Night Tights, literally the #1 song on iTunes in certain parts of the world. What? Over a theme song for our show on YouTube, but having a YouTube channel. Dude. I know, having a YouTube channel, that is part of it. Get out there and have your voice. Look, at the end of the day, I literally could picture walking into, I don't know, a random fucking, you know, video game store and seeing PewDiePie, you know, Felix Schellberg is being an employee there. But instead, you know what he did? He turned his fucking webcam on. And now he's the biggest fucking star on the internet because he put himself out there and he tried. You know what I mean? And he's hilarious and he's fantastic on camera, and he's created an empire. Mr. Beast don't look like the biggest star on the internet, does he? But guess what? Motherfucker's pulling 100 million views every time because he's creative and he creates shit. And I don't think Mr. Beast is creating anything on the front lines of the culture war per se, but he should represent to you that the opportunity is out there for you if you have the creativity to go out there and do it. You know what I mean? Ryan literally would not be here if he wouldn't have made a trip to come meet me and Gary at a meetup. And here he is. Motherfucker's about to hit 100,000 subs for the second time. You know what I mean? So
2-time champ, do it. Back to back.
Yeah. Disparu is here because he sent me a random ass message with his dumb fucking squirrel emoji. And I'm like, who is this guy with a squirrel profile picture? And all he was doing is ranting to me. And he's like, I don't get any views on YouTube. I make good content. They don't watch me. Here, if you want it, look at it. And I was like, this guy really doesn't seem like he gives a fuck. That's what I like. So I looked at him.
He was
like,
probably drunk.
I was. No, I actually was.
So I looked at it. And I'm like, this guy makes really good content. And here he is now. You know what I mean? And put yourself out there, man. You got to put yourself out there. That's at the core of everything. And so, you know, everybody's got to play their part, and everybody is going to play different roles. And, you know, I mean, hell, we are creating a video game with Geeks and Gamers, and I don't see that being a vision for, you know, the future of like creating like an independent video game based on our personalities. But I do think us creating that second video game now that we're on, I think that's building us up for the future. Because like I said, like we talked about earlier with creating these characters and all that shit, we are not ready to create an authentic, brand new character from the ground up on a video game. We don't have that type of talent and resources yet. But what we do have is we have a niche, and a niche is to create a video game that the people that follow Geeks and Gamers might have some interest in. How do you do that? By having Ryan throwing F-bombs in the video game, by having Jeremy throwing facts, by having Drunk 3PO throwing roses, by having Krista Nova throwing chicken nuggets. And then when you finally accomplish all, you might unlock Young Ripa, and you have everyone's ability. That is a niche. That is not the future, but understanding we don't have the resources to create the next great video game character yet. But this is part of the ground level operation that you create what your audience might be interested in at the ground level. And then you learn from that. That's what is going on.
Like, no. Like, I was just going to piggyback off that point. Like, it's what I'm doing with comics. I thought this was like going to be till I was 40. I thought we're talking like 10 years down the line now. Process got really sped up because of the support that we've got. Yeah, it helps that Marvel and DC is running themselves into the fucking ground. It's very influential, I will say that. But on a serious note, like these supporters and like they're thirsting for this sort of material, and they have shown that they're willing to pay for it. Really shows that it could be done now. Like, it was like, well, why wait? So yeah, it may seem like something like that is small now, but then you never know. Something happens, things pop off. 3 years down the line, you are doing what you said, or maybe seemed unrealistic. You know, you're talking about, for example, what you're doing, trying to do the Orlando thing. Like, you probably couldn't even envision that fucking a year ago.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Like, but it happens. That's what we're dealing with, and this is why laying that foundation is so important. And it only seems unrealistic until it's not unrealistic. And this is why all of what we do is necessary. And don't let some idiot like on Twitter named, I don't know, fucking talking about video games for losers or some shit.
Any right-wing conservative that don't know anything about video games is
all
like,
of
fuck video games. Fucking idiots.
Basically, yeah. Don't let them tell you what you're doing is trivial, man. Don't let them do it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's right. And so everybody's got a role to play. And this is why the left has elevated, because they understood it's more than that frontline shit. The frontline shit's obviously the most important stuff. That's obviously, without that, you got nothing. But there is a process to it. And we are in a culture war. We just
Absolutely.
are. And
whether you want to be in it or not, it's here.
Yeah, I created Geeks and Gamers because there was something out there that I wanted to see that didn't exist. That's really what any creation is. That's why Rip is creating the Rippaverse, because as a fan, he doesn't see the thing that he loved anymore. So instead of bitching about it forever, he created it. He's like, all right, fuck it. If it don't exist, I'll create it. And there's an obvious hole in the market. And so that's what everybody's got to do. But yeah, that was a long kind of rant that I went on, but that was actually some good stuff that we all kind of discussed, because it's important to hear. It's important to hear that solutions are important, and they aren't always the thing that's dangled right in front of you. There are layers and nuance to everything, and the people that get it, and those that don't. But that's how it goes. All right, where am I at? Mrs. Martin Muses with a 99-cent sticker, and it is a rose. Thank you, Mrs. Martin. Appreciate that.
It's Miss Martin.
Oh, it's Miss Martin Muses. There's so many M's in there, I get tongue-tied on it. Versified, Hassan Destiny, Vosh, and Ethan Klein equal the hypocrite soy boy version of The View. There, two of them already make a show. So, I mean, yeah, they absolutely can. Stormcroft, off topic, but have you guys watched Arcane? I have not. I know Drinker has a full review on Arcane.
I've heard really good things about it.
I was going to start it, but I put it on hold because I wanted to start something else. But I heard really good things about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it too. Mm-hmm. So
it's like a League of Legends thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've heard basically like everything League of Legends is good except the actual game. From what people keep saying. So, but
the game's good. It's more the other players. Like you're on about sort of COD lobbies. It's a similar thing, except now you're trapped in a game with them for 30 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, I've heard really good things about it. So from everybody.
Yeah, everybody seems to be hyping it up pretty good. So, and there's Splike TV who says Arcane is a 10 out of 10. Please watch it, guys. All right. I mean, and apparently Drinker really high on it too. So I guess we'll have to check that out. The Gilk Man, this is the one from earlier. This week was the week when I flew down to meet you and a few others for the first time, Jeremy, a few years ago. Bet you regret it. And obviously I do not, man. I appreciate you, buddy. Loose Cannon. Hamill as Bane was the beginning of the end, in my opinion. That's Loose Cannon. Captain James T. Skywalker, Kristen Nova, America's new sweetheart. There you go.
Thank you.
She's Canada's sweetheart, right?
No.
She won't even claim it.
I wouldn't want to claim that shit.
Hey, let Kyle Rittenhouse know you're available. He's been looking for a new girl.
He says he likes them thick. He basically should have said thick black chicks. Is what he should have said, because that's what it sounded
basically like. Now we know why he said he supports BLM. All right, we see you, Kyle.
Oh man, the dude has got. I just started. So I don't really watch Crowder. I really have never watched Crowder. I respect Steven Crowder. You know what I mean? But he's not somebody I watch. But but Kyle Rittenhouse, I started watching his Kyle Rittenhouse interview. It's very well done, just on the first like 10 or 15 minutes I saw. So I'm looking forward to watching that. So yeah,
it's just like, I mean, Crowder's show is very, there's a lot of people piping in all the time for everything. Mm-hmm. The whole thing is it's not a bit, right? But they're just, that is what it is. Everybody's piping in all the time for jokes. So it's great. They've got a great community over there, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. 100%.
His best content's the change my mind stuff. I think I love those videos. Just talking to people.
Yeah, that's the ones I've watched the most of, if anything, on his channel is those. But that's the thing. Most of us don't have to freak out if, like, I can just say like, yeah, that's really not my cup of tea, but I'm glad everybody else enjoys it. A lot of these fucking leftist weirdos are like, if I don't enjoy it, no one can enjoy it, and they should be canceled and removed from the internet. It's like, or you could just shut the fuck up, you know, like not that big of a deal. You want everybody canceled and things like that. It's a weird dynamic. But Marksman, allow me to quote Trillium. IPs don't come with a built-in IPs don't come with a built-in audience. They come with built-in critics. It's a good point, because fans are critics, you know, like that's what we do. We are here because we care about this shit. You know what I mean? Create new shit and go do whatever you want with it. And if it's successful, it's successful. And if it's not, it's not. But when you are taking over an IP, there has to be a level of respect you have for that IP and that audience that comes with it. And if you don't do that, Cowboy Bebop happens. That's what happens. Simple as that. Let me see. Mike H says, if YouTubers fight each other, we won't win this war. I've been saying that for years, except for Star Wars Explained and his sister. I will continue to fight with them because fuck those motherfuckers. But outside of them, I got really no problem with anybody on this platform. If people have a problem with me, that's a them problem, not a me problem. But I have said for years that I don't think that YouTubers should be fighting with each other because we're all fighting, you know, Mama Susan and the whole thing. Now, you know,
it depends what fighting each other means. Like if you're trying to take each other down is a completely different story. Having a disagreement and calling someone out for their bullshit, that's what it is. I would never want to make my channel about other YouTubers. I think that's about like when like drama community stuff. I think that's the most cringe shit possible when it comes to that kind of thing, personally. But yeah, when it comes to taking out people's sponsors and trying to run to YouTube to deplatform them, that is the most bitch-made shit I could possibly imagine, especially when you're just a jealous little cuck, right? And that's why you're trying to deplatform someone.
Yeah. And, you know, but that's always going to exist. And so for me to say like a world of YouTube, but that doesn't have people trying to beat dipshits, that's like the NFL going, we must stop racism. Like it's always going to be, you know what I mean? So like trying to imagine saying the words let's end racism. That's never going to end. You're not going to end something. You can minimize it and you cannot support people that don't see your views on things. But to say the stupid words like let's end racism, it takes all of us.
Well, no, that's they just want to stay in a perpetual state of activism.
Yes.
Because they're fucking losers. And that's what I've said this. I said this on a couple of shows ago that you know, activism is certainly the fucking it is the occupation of losers, man. That's for fucking sure. They love that shit.
Yep.
That's what I've always thought of things like diversity officers and stuff in businesses. Is like they literally they should be out of a job. If they did their job, they shouldn't be needed anymore. But they're always needed because there's always apparently some other problem that they've got to solve, and it's like
there's always some fake hate crime that gets made up. So
oh man. Juicy Smollett.
Bubba Wallace, fucking ESPN tweeted out Bubba. I don't know if you saw this, Rippa. Oh, you did. God. I think I saw you tweet about it.
Yeah.
ESPN's like
fucking
a
shit,
year ago, a noose was found in Bubba Wallace's garage. It's like, no, there's articles on ESPN where they said that was a garage pole that had been there for nearly a year.
Exist, Ryan. They're in another dimension, man. These guys in a like imagine trying that hard to speak some shit into existence, man. Like that's impressive. I would say it's not even speaking it into existence. It's more like you already acknowledged that the shit ain't there. And you said, fuck it, I'm still going to say that it's there, man. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. What a shock that, you know, 2 weeks after bitching about the Confederate flag, bending the knee for Black Lives Matter, and no one gives a fuck about you in NASCAR. What a shock that 2 weeks after that, all of a sudden, you decide to come out and say, someone put a noose in my garage. And then all of these fucking white saviors of NASCAR walk behind your car like they give a shit about you. I hate Bubba Wallace, man.
Oh, he's the worst.
I hate that dude.
Listen, I used to be a passionately dedicated NASCAR fan. I watched it constantly. NASCAR is I think that's kind of where Ripa is with Marvel. You know what I mean? Like, he's just so, like, I don't know anything about NASCAR anymore. I am so checked out to the point where I have literally not a care. I don't know anything about it. The only time I see anything about it is when something like this with Bubba Wallace comes out, where he's just virtue signaling or playing the victim. Like, I am so detached from that shit. And if you would have told me that like 5-10 years ago, that I would be completely detached from anything going on in that world, I would have been shocked. But that is what social justice does. That's what it does. It's and the fact that Michael Jordan fucking owns a car and put Bubba Wallace in it, it's what the fuck are we doing, dude? Holy
Hey,
shit.
listen, I think one thing we can say about Michael Jordan, he's never been the best talent evaluator. So, I mean, ain't no denying that. Greatest player to ever play, but
Yes.
sucks as a GM and as a manager of talent.
Oh man. What do you think about that, Krista? Michael Jordan and evaluator of talent and all of that. What's your thoughts on that?
We'll keep that for my channel.
Gotcha. Get Christian sports takes on her channel.
Michael Jordan did sponsor McDonald's at one point in time, so there's that for you.
Did he
Chicken
sponsor
nuggets?
them, or were they a sponsor of him?
Well, yeah, they were a sponsor of him. So,
man, remember that Larry Bird MJ commercial?
Oh,
when they were
yeah.
taking the shots and everything.
oh yeah,
Larry's like,
Pretty good.
off the scoreboard, hit the backboard,
yeah.
no rim.
Yeah.
No rim. Yeah.
So good, man. It's the glory days back then. Oh my gosh.
Then they recreated it with LeBron and Dwight Howard. How disappointing.
Here we go.
Two motherfuckers that can't shoot.
Let's see. Michael wants to know, for Ripa, could there be a blind character in the Ripaverse? Hail to you all.
Maybe.
Could, yeah, I'm sure there could.
Absolutely. It could be all kinds of motherfuckers.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll see.
yeah.
Whatever
Will
the
is
story
the-
calls.
Yeah, could is the right way to ask it.
Yeah.
Will, I say, because that's just like, will there be? Okay, I mean, I know
Yeah.
you're not asking it that way, but you know.
Yeah, it could
I mean-
be all kinds of shit, man. Like nothing's off limits except probably there won't be any blue-haired weirdos walking around.
Well, you should make a deaf and blind person named Kellen Heller, and it'd just be a meme.
Look at that. Ruben said, it's so insane. I got suspended again on my backup Twitter account for calling out the ESPN Bubba Wallace tweet. This is complete madness. What did you say? I got to know.
If you're using the R word, if you say retarded on
they don't
Twitter,
like retarded. It's the one,
They will,
one,
yeah,
the
they'll
one
yeet
platform
you.
that doesn't
Yeah.
like retarded.
that's the only
Yeah.
time I've ever got. Well, Instagram doesn't like it either. Instagram is soft as baby shit, dude.
Don't
Like,
they
you
even
can't-
bleep stories? Like words? Like I think the lady, it's funny because I was playing Halo and I ended up like she was trying to shoot a story for a shop and I said you could hear me screaming in the background or some shit, and she said fucking husband, and like like I think it bleeped her out. Like I think you can't, like, they'll bleep out like cuss words and shit in the stories and shit.
This is the best comment of the night right here. Because he can't hear worth the shit. Chris Barcella famously can't hear what the he owns it. Oh, you got me.
I remember I was like roasting deaf people one time, and like Chris thought I was specifically talking about him because he probably didn't fucking hear the earlier part of the conversation.
Oh man.
Oh, shout out to Christopher Arcella. That was good right there. Johnny Arnett says some vids with the Halo show trailer are getting blocked. Probably don't want to play it regardless. Thank you, Johnny. Shout out to
That's
Johnny.
why he did like a shot-by-shot breakdown of it instead of a reaction, it looked like. So shout out to Johnny for that.
Johnny Arnett, newest member of the Geeks and Gamers team. He's got
shout out. He was in my over on that show earlier today. So big shout out.
He's
to him.
good people. He's good people. We played Mario Golf last night. First round, I beat the shit out of him, and then the second round, he brought it and he won the second round. So we're talking about maybe Thursday for premium members. Me, him, Lyndon, and Drunk 3PO doing some Mario Golf. So we'll see. We will see. But yeah, shout out to Johnny on that. Jaeger Bomb says, "Hail all! I hope all the upcoming anime adaptations get canceled. Yet I heard Batwoman crew is doing Gotham Knights. They're going to massacre my heroes."
You can bet on that.
Yeah, I heard
It's
that.
gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's no doubt about it. And I saw Mike Williams earlier. I saw Mike. Oh, where'd it go? So Mike earlier. What the hell's this profile picture, by the way? Like, what are you doing, Mike? But Mike's when you talked about Lethal and Jay Hellstorm playing, he's like, "Rip it, it mentioned me."
Well, no, like, all right, no, Mike, like, you'll get in, and yeah, we've got some great sessions with Mike, but he's not there every time. It usually like it's been like me and Jay Elstorm, like,
dude,
this.
Mike is so funny. I think we should
Mike
have
Williams
Mike on
too
us,
light
like-
skinned for Ripper to acknowledge.
I said I redeemed. He has redeemed quite because he's not like light skinned, like he has fair skin, but he's not like some of these other motherfuckers. Like, Mike's like got black in him. Some of them you can't fuck with.
Mike's about just the right complexion to play Disney's Snow White.
Oh
shit, good shit right there. Let's see. Nightfall says, I'd love to see you guys play Hot Wheels Unleashed. Badass, fun, competitive game. Me and Rippa need to play it. It's just a matter, like, we both own it, right?
So
you
many
own it?
games come out. Yeah.
Yeah, so I own it. You
Halo,
own it. We
Vanguard,
haven't talked about it, but there's just so many games, man. Like, it's so hard. But yeah, we both own the game and we'd like to play it. So that may happen. Yeah. Eric K says, no hate, Jeremy. Lady Rippa is better than all of you. Well, that's just bullshit. You know that, Eric.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Eric July and Eric K knows that's bullshit. So shout out to Lady Rippa, though. Mike Williams for 5 says, Jeremy may never recover from the fall of Titanfall. Shout out to Disparu. Tuesday night's main event. Best show on Tuesday. I probably won't, man. I truly don't think there's ever going to be a multiplayer that is, means as much to me as Titanfall 2 on a multiplayer first-person shooter side. Like, the mechanics and everything, man, it's just, there's nothing like it. It's so fucking good, and it's so sad that it's dead. And will we get a Titanfall 3? I mean, I personally don't think that, based on the financials for both games, it is not like these games were horrifically bad. Like, they actually performed fairly well. And Titanfall 2 universally loved, I would think. Everybody played it, loved it. Reviews are fantastic. Fan base loved it. The online was fantastic. Everything was good, but it just didn't perform for I don't know why. I mean, I guess ultimately it's EA and their shitty job of marketing their fucking Battlefields and Call of Duties right in the middle of it. But
there's no motivation for them to do it. Yeah, money has to be the motivator. Apex Legends is bringing in a shit ton of money. They just moved the guy who potentially probably would have been the spearhead of that over to working on Battlefield, which is also going to be a massive money maker for them. So the motivation just isn't there for that game. Yeah, it's gonna take like an independent studio to kind of replicate something like that. That's what I think needs to happen.
It's weird though, because there was a rumor at one point of Apex Legends was going to get Titanfall content, and there was even someone that had gone digging into the files and found one of the Titans in Apex. And Apex Legends, their player numbers went up. Titanfall players' numbers went up. So there's an appetite for it, but I don't think the people at the top are that bothered.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's sad, man. It really is. But time will tell, I guess. I just I hate how the game kind of died off, but nothing you can do about it. Bird Up, Mega Them Mega They from Mega Man, Mega Them Mega They, and then Bird Up says, can Mega Man be trans if he's a robot? How dare you assume his gender? First of all, let's see this Culture Casino. I just can't quit you, geeks and gamers. Love y'all. And I don't want a Mega Man game. I think you mean show. Hi, Ryan, you sexy patriot from Culture Casino.
Thank you, Culture Casino.
D-Day Direwolf says, hey, guys, how are you? By the way, F Miles. I think Ripa signs off on that one. Tara in the Black says, games that made me a man. Mega Man 1 and 2, Castlevania 1 through and Symphony of the Night, and Afterburner on the Sega Master System. Those are some badass games you mentioned. Respect. Steven says Mega Man will be replaced by Roll Dr. Light and will be changed to a woman, and the robot masters will be called Person, Ice Person, Crash Person, etc. Probably. I can't see them doing anything Mega Man. I don't know how that's even attractive to them in the world of pronouns and men are toxic and all that shit. I know that's what I'm saying.
They have to use it.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I just don't even see how they would even go with it, because everything's agenda driven with these fucking fools anyway. Where we at? Eric K, what do you think of the new Sonic 2 trailer? I haven't even seen it yet. And it's just because there's been so much, so I haven't even seen it yet. Is it good?
It's fine. I mean, I think it's good for people that like it. Yeah,
I like the first one. I like the first one.
I never would have watched the first one if they hadn't come out and changed everything after the fan backlash. And I thought it was fine. It wasn't a movie for me, really.
Were you a Sonic? Were you a Sonic fan? Sega Genesis and all that back in the day?
I liked it well enough. I mean, I played a lot of Sonic. I didn't own a Sega Genesis, but I had friends that did, so I went over to their house, played a lot of Sonic. And I mean, I actually, the first comic book I ever had was a Sonic comic. Ironically enough,
was it a Sonichu? Is that what it's
called? It wasn't a Sonichu. It wasn't a Sonichu comic. It was Sonic the Hedgehog. When the Chris Chan did not draw my comic books, thank God. But you never know where his hands have been, other than between his mother's legs, apparently. But yeah, so
I knew the whole
like
chat.
Sonic.
The chat's gonna probably bring up Sonichu because that's the first thing I thought you said. My first comic was a Sonic, and I don't even know the Christian lore like most people, but that was the first thing I thought.
Gundam's just gonna pop in the chat because he heard something like that. But yeah, so I like Sonic. It's just I'm not interested in like a live action story with him. I'd be much more interested in like they actually are doing a they have a Sonic open world game that they debuted at the VGAs. I'm more interested in that than I am in a Sonic movie. But with that being said, I mean, Knuckles is in it, Tails is in it. I think it's going to be cool for everybody who's interested, who likes Sonic, the first one.
Yeah, we'll see. Bird Up says, can't wait for the Netflix Mega Man Star Wars crossover so Disney's pansexual Lando can have a romance with him. God. Let's see. D-Day Direwolf, watch Berserk better than Death Note. The anime, I'm gonna have a hard time believing. I have Berserk. People have sent me Berserk, by the way. I haven't watched it, but Death Note is top tier. Have you've seen Death Note, Ripa?
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
It was good. It was absolutely
good. I love it, dude. I think it's like masterpiece in storytelling. And again, I know it's been out forever, but I'm not going to talk about the spoiler. It was like about 20 something episodes into it, something happens, and it really kind of fucks you up. And I was pissed. But when I got to the end of it, I was like, okay, I get it now. I actually understand why they did it, but I was mad as hell. Disparu does not seem happy even now.
I didn't like after that twist. It wasn't as good. I'm not that big of a fan of the ending either. But that was my first anime. Then I watched Code Geass afterwards, or Geass, and I don't know much about anime, so I'm going to people asking for recommendations, and most people are just like, "You're not going to beat Death Note." It's like you started at the top, and after that, we can give you stuff that you might like as well, but you're probably not going to top it.
Well, I saw Chris Marcella, who's a big anime guy, and he says Berserk's better than Death Note. Is what he says. So, and a lot of people like. I think Ryan, you got sent Berserk too, didn't you?
I do. Yeah, I have. I think the first 2 volumes of Berserk. I tried to. I think I need to return to Amazon. Fucking misprinted the shit. It opens the wrong way. The pages are fucking backwards. So I don't know if it's supposed to be like.
Ryan's always bitching about something, dude. It's like it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
No, I got obviously that whole shelf right there, manga shit. I still hate the fucking shit, man, and how it reads.
Yeah, you gotta fucking read it backwards.
I'll never fucking not like.
Ryan has a self-fulfilling prophecy of everything. He hates everything. So even if it's meant to be that way, Ryan still hates it, though. He'll find a reason to bitch about it, even if it's justifiable or not. All right, so Spider Claw, I'm terrified at what they will do to One Piece. People try to rationalize it, but it'll be ruined worse than 4Kids did. Yeah, I mean, everything they're touching right now, I think we all recognize what's going to happen. Bobby Trizzle says, have you guys seen the Halo Infinite multiplayer tutorial? We got that one. I'll have to check that one out. I wasn't aware of that, so we'll have to look into that. Super Nate, speaking of video game adaptations, the Sonic 2 trailer looked really good. As a literal lifelong Sonic fan, it looks like it hits all the right notes, and the crew have been saying all the right things. Yeah, I'm going to check it out. So it seems like people are at least pretty excited for it. So, Eric K, I am hiring a lawyer for Ryan's tummy. Abuse eating off the floor is not healthy. Ryan is not healthy, but it doesn't matter. None of us are really. Mugsikins, what the fuck, Jeremy? Looks like you went down south on a woman and got her hair stuck under your chin. Please shave. It doesn't look right. It's not that I'm trying to grow anything. I just haven't. I just haven't shaved lately. Like that's all it is. I was like, he's trying to grow a beard. Not really. I've never tried to grow a beard out. Will it work? I don't know. If people keep asking about it, I might just not shave. I haven't cut my hair in forever. My hair is long as fuck. Facial hair is growing out. I'm just like a fucking caveman right now. So we'll see. Okay, I'm almost caught up there. So at this point, if anybody needs to bounce, it's fine. I've still got some super chats on the Odyssey side and the Streamlabs side, so I'm gonna catch up on those. So I don't. What time is it over fucking wherever you're at, Disbrew?
It's hold on. Damn it.
What time?
5:15 in the morning.
Okay. Oh shit. All right. Do you need to bounce?
I don't need to. I can.
Okay. All right. Just checking. Rippa, what you got going on? You need to bounce? You good?
I was gonna stream, but I don't think I am. I do need to touch base with the lady. I'm not.
Okay.
She's on. So
let me see if I got anything for you real quick.
Yeah.
Let's
Check that.
Let's see. Krista, where are you at?
I'm
Probably-
here.
Do we have any super chats for Rippa on the Odyssey side or the Streamlabs side? Go ahead and look through those for me and read them out to him if you got any. By the way, Chris has been kind of getting all of the super chats. And now we've got him going from 3 different places now. So shout out to Krista for keeping all that consolidated. We do have one from Lethal Lightning, the newly banned from Twitter, just because Rippa loves him because he's good at Halo. But he says, Vito is a big tard beyond tard. How is that? You know what, defending trash, not banned on Twitter, but I am talking about the fact that, Vito's a big fan of cuties. That's all you need to know about him. I love the fact that all these conservatives called him a fucking hero. And then they found out he was a fan of cuties. I was like, I would love to have seen the reaction where these motherfuckers called him a hero. And then I'm like, your hero defended cuties. Oh man, these conservatives will jump on anything. But none on that. Let's see.
I'll put it in, or I sent it to you, but I'll put it in PC.
Okay. All right. Put it in private chat. Then we got Big Red says, Ripper, remember the cat on Twitter who showed you his so there it is. Yeah. The Marvel app. Yeah. We looked at that one.
That's what sets itself on, man. Holy shit.
That was so good. That was so damn good. I did not. God.
That's probably the most impressive cell phone that I've.
Yeah.
And I've jumped on a lot of these dickheads over my fucking 10-year-old Twitter. That was one of the worst ones.
That was bad. Let's see. Alex says, hey, Rippa, can you add Marvel's attempt to replace Wolverine with X-23 in the talk the next time you talk about tokenism and Miles Morales? Also, Mega Man had multiple anime series. That's probably what Netflix would go for. So about the
Wolverine they did. Yeah, I forget about that. I can't believe while we were talking about that, I didn't remember that. Yeah.
So there's so much nonsense out there.
And that's why a character like She-Hulk has been successful, because they took the idea of the Hulk as obviously a tokenization, but they changed it so much.
Yeah.
She-Hulk is so different in her origins.
Until recently, to now she's just fucking Hulk, basically.
And that was not successful at all.
Yeah, and that was dead on arrival.
Right, because her personality, her attitude, what happens to her when it's all very different than Hulk.
Yeah.
And the same with X-23, right? They just try to fucking make her Wolverine.
Yep.
And it didn't work very well.
Yep. So there you go with that. All right, so Rippa, when we're playing, I need to play some Halo with you. Not tonight,
man, dude, whenever you're ready, man. I'm always up.
Honestly, why don't we play Halo tomorrow? But it's gonna be big game mode. You don't want to do that shit. So
I'm still up for. I'll still play it.
Right,
It ain't my preference. I'll still fucking.
Well, Wednesday's our game stream on Twitch, so I don't know.
Play Warzone?
I don't know, because Warzone's still broken as hell.
Work.
It's pretty bad.
Is it?
So I'll hit you up and let you know.
Yeah.
What fucking Activision, right? They got so many. They're dealing with their sexual harassment shit. They're like, you know what? We're gonna drop this brand new Vanguard Warzone the same day that Halo campaign comes out. We'll show them, and it's just bugged as shit. No one can play it, so people just buying Halo.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Halo's the better game by far. It's not even close. Again, I really like the new Warzone map. I like the aesthetic of it. I think it's cool. It's a nice kind of change of pace. I think it's really cool to be on it, and I like it, but it's buggy. Like you can't use your loadout. Your loadout, I don't even know if there's a clip of it. Let me see. What is a there's got to be a clip of it on Charlie Intel, I think, that like if you just, it's so bad. I don't know. Have you guys not? You guys probably haven't seen it yet, have you? That bug on it. So when you have your weapon, it's just this giant black box. So like when you get like your Modern Warfare loadout or your whatever, like it's so bad. I'm trying to. Yeah, here it is, right here. Here, this is what it looks like. Let me share my screen right here. It's the first time it happened to me. I'm like, well, did I do something wrong? Like, what's going on? That's it right there.
Oh, that's an old bug. That used to happen in Verdansk, except it was way bigger and covered your entire screen. That lasted for about a month as well. It took them ages to fix it.
Fuck?
Now that might, I don't know if that's a vehicle or what. Yeah, that's a vehicle, but that's what your gun looks like. If you're holding your gun, it looks just like that. You can't see anything.
That's literally an old bug that they said they fixed, and they've now added it back in. That's insane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I had it where I came back from the gulag, and I literally landed on a guy thinking, I've got this guy beat. I had no gun, I had no fists. There's nothing I could do except jump around him in circles, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. It was really bad at first.
It's really bad.
What the
really
fuck,
bad.
dude?
Yeah,
that shit looked. You remember the Dune movie from like the 80s? Was it Frank Herbert? Is that one? Where like the shields were just like random, like polygonal shapes that surrounded people because CGI was just first coming out. That's what that shit looked like. I gotta pull that up.
I'm trying to. I recorded myself playing the game. I don't know if I still have it or not. I might have removed it because I was getting low on memory. Yeah, I don't have it anymore. But I when I was playing it, I was recording myself, and yeah, it was it's bad.
I meant David Lynch. Obviously, Frank Herbert wrote Dune. I meant the David Lynch movie. I gotta find that shit.
Look it up. Look it up.
Yeah.
All right, so we got next time you make steaks, try using a kosher salt. Try brine and leave them in the fridge for 24 to 48 hours first. It's a game changer. They might even taste good after you dill holes burn them to hell. Burning the steak is the only way. I can't do the blood. I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's just not. I don't know. It's not something I can do. So, all right, Ripper, you need to bounce.
Yeah. Let me get up out of here, man.
Okay.
All
right, man.
As always, Tuesday night's main event is the spot. What's up?
Got it. Chris Marcelo for 5 on. Let's see. At Chris's suggestion, I will be drawing you with overalls and no shirt while riding a dumb cow on Jay's farm. It will be awesome. That's
I don't think I've ever owned a pair of fucking overalls. Jesus. I don't think I've ever owned a pair of fucking overalls. Like, no joke.
Now you'll get to see yourself in some.
All right, let's watch this and then we'll let Ripper get out of here. Go ahead.
Yeah. These are the shields I'm talking about.
That's exactly what it looks like.
That's what I'm saying. It's next thing's all I could think of.
That's good.
Man, that's
That
beautiful
is good.
CGI
That is
right
good.
there, man.
All right, Ripper, you were saying.
Yeah,
tonight,
man.
so.
Again, always good on a Tuesday, man. I appreciate everybody. And whatnot. All the support. Like I said, I'm gonna work on a long form video over the next week or so, showing receipts on this Miles Morales situation that should get me a lot of support on Twitter from people that don't read comic books. So I'm looking forward to that. But the show's live every 12 p.m. Central. Yeah, that's the time slot. So come check us live where we talk about a bunch of random shit and I make fun of leftists.
Hell yeah.
It's always fun. But yeah, man, good time
man.
as always. Also appreciate Disparu being here as well as upper echelon gaming, man. That was fun for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll hit you up and let you know about tomorrow, man. We'll
Let me know. Hit me up.
So.
I'll be around.
All right, man. Take it easy, man.
All right, man. See y'all,
Bye.
man.
Later.
Peace out.
Anybody else? We're good. Krista, are you good? I know you weren't feeling good earlier, so you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
That's what happens. You eat regular fucking Oreos.
I couldn't believe how just quickly you just launched into that.
Triggered.
Oh, it's so damn good. It's so damn good. We're almost caught up on the super chat side. Let me see. Think we're good there. Mega or most stuff is the way to go, says Eric K. Don't know if I've tried the mega stuff because the double stuffed Oreo is perfect. It's perfect. So I don't even know if I want to. I guess I'll try mega stuff. Should I try? Do you like mega stuffed Oreos, Ryan? Have you tried those?
I'm not a big fan. I think the ratios, like double stuff, is the perfect ratio. Mega stuff,
so
it's I don't know. Mega stuff's a little too much for me.
I
only-
think. Go ahead.
We only just got double stuffed over here. I didn't know you had so many different varieties.
America, they have so much stuff. They have birthday cake flavor. They have lemon flavor. They have so
The
many
lemon
different
ones are fucking
Yes,
awesome.
I know.
I will
have
eat a
nothing
whole
like that.
fucking package of lemon Oreos.
Those are delicious. You guys even have gingerbread kind for the
Mhm.
holidays. Oh,
We have all kinds. Oh, I gotta get I always pick up the Christmas ones too. They do the red stuff in because they got those double stuff. So otherwise, if they were regular, I'd say I'd fucking trash all of them.
You guys saw how I was freaking out at the grocery store, running all over the
Yes.
place. I want
Yeah.
to buy those big Cheetos, the cheese. What do you call them? The cheese balls in the jar.
What was that? Do
Cheese
I still have
puffs?
that video? Yeah.
Cheese puffs.
Do
We
we
don't
still
have
have
those.
that video of you? It's
Uh,
on Geeks and Gamers where you got the cheese balls running around, and I said something really like that she didn't like on that one.
oh, jeez.
Look it up, Krista. See if you can find it
Okay,
on
I'll
Geeks
try to
and
find
Gamers.
it.
There, I'm seeing if I can find it right now. Although probably won't be able to. Oh my god, all this crap with you and Jay dancing. What the hell?
Eh?
All right, I'm gonna show the one with you and Jay dancing. The chat gets to
Oh
see
my
this one right here.
gosh. Oh, the
Um,
TikTok.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Oh my god, is that gonna get me hit on a copyright though if I play it?
Probably. So just maybe.
Nah,
not.
we're gonna
Yeah,
unlist it anyway.
Just check us
so-
out on TikTok. You'll find it there.
Here we
along
go.
with
Here we
other-
go. Literally nobody watching this stream is gonna watch us on TikTok. So
What?
here we go right here.
Oh gosh.
Girls, 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 glitter, 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 swirls, 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 together.
He looks really pleased.
We're Linda and Heather.
How did you talk him into
I
that one?
almost hit him in the face. He's so tall. And I was wearing high boots.
Was this when we were at the game?
No, we were at the hotel lobby.
No,
No,
yeah, that's when me
we-
and
Oh,
Ryan were
yeah.
at the game.
You were at the game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Ryan looks so.
I'm just glad I wasn't
Unhappy.
fucking there for that dog
Next
shit.
time we do Ryan, we do the same thing. We dance to a song.
Not that
Ryan will
one.
do it. Do you have the Ryan meow one? We got to show that one.
That's premium, I think.
That's a free.
Only premium.
Ryan-
members get that.
Ryan was laying by the fireplace,
Yeah.
and then how did that whole thing go down? You're like, meow.
Krista was like, you look like a cat laying by the fire or something like that.
Yeah. he
I mean,
like-
I didn't know she was fucking.
He meowed at me.
Yeah.
That was a little creepy. That was a little creepy. All right, Cribs, if you can find that, that's fine. I'm gonna keep going back to this. All right, so we got Pope Limus from Hokies. We got that one. Let me see. Bird Up says, eat steak rare like a true Nord, you milk drinkers. Galaxy Express Media, new channel for geeks and gamers. Food Wars. Honestly, after tonight's stream, we might as well start one.
One of the first streams I went on, I think it was Krista's, and I didn't say anything about 2 hours because you just kept talking about various different takeaways in America, and I have no idea about any of them. I kept thinking they're gonna run out of them at any time now, and it just kept coming out.
Revenge of the Netherrealm says Spidey already had a father figure. It's Uncle Ben. Yep, there you go. Tuxedo Earth. There's a Spider-Man cartoon on Disney Junior with a female Doc Ock with a woke cut hairstyle. Fucking SJW haircuts. That's what triggers me more than anything. Revenge of the Netherrealm says Vito is why I opted from Andy Signor's channel. G-Man says the 2022 NBA Finals sponsored by Audiobook and, of course, Pfizer. D-Day Direwolf Miles Morales is an ankle biter. So is Tom Holland. Mike Hill says CW did the same thing with Batman. Started with a white woman, now has switched to a black woman. Yeah. Splike TV says, as an Afro-Latino, I am offended by the cringe of that comment. You didn't find any relatability with that? The exaggerated swagger of a black teen? Oh man, I would have figured that would have just hit home for everyone. Let me see. There we go. Lance, I've been imagining Cartman saying he's got the exaggerated swagger of a black teen. I'm crying, laughing. Willie says, just want to say Merry Christmas early. Hope the new year will be so much better for everyone. Rotten Tanuki, speaking of putting yourself out there, check out Day One Patch Kids and consider buying something for that gamer in your life this Christmas. Thank you. Michael Smith got that one. Ruben got that one. Dab the Great says Halo Infinite has such woke censorship with the in-game text chat that boobs and idiot are censored. I don't use text in-game chat or I get it though. That doesn't mean that it doesn't suck. I just don't use any of those features. Like I use Discord to talk to people. Like I don't use game chat.
I don't know how much that has to do with woke and how much it just has to do with they just don't want to fuck with any of that shit.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, but they are
in Call of Duty. In like Call of Duty, you log in there. They're pretty lenient. Now I don't know if Kyle Rittenhouse can use his actual name, but like you'll go in, you'll see some names that, I mean, it's not like Modern Warfare 2 kind of names, but names that they probably don't want you to have right after making you acknowledge that Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people that are they're very appreciative of George Floyd. So yeah.
Ryan, are you able to pull up the Odyssey ones so you can help me bounce those? Okay. G-Man. G-Man says next time for $10. Oh, I got that one. 0 hour discussions with JM Cruz. Watch Hellsing Ultimate. It's an awesome anime. Look, I plan on getting into more animes. I have very much enjoyed the anime. A lot of them has been through Krista telling me, which ones to watch. Like, what's the one I watched the one season, Krista? I haven't watched the second season.
Demon Slayer?
No.
The Promised Neverland?
Yeah, The Promised Neverland. Loved that first season. Love it. And apparently people say stay away from season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably
the anime,
the anime. But yeah, that one, and of course Attack on Titan, which isn't Attack on Titan's final season about to happen. The anime.
In the anime, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well,
when is that releasing?
The end of the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I love Attack on Titan. Although I got a big problem with the animation shift that happened. It just kind of threw me off a little bit, but I understand why they had to do it. Yeah, Hellsing, I'll check that one out, and Berserk. So let me see. Chaos Hoy, the real ending of Death Note. Kira wins. Let's see. D-Day Direwolf. Berserk manga first page has Chad levels beyond 9,000. Okay. Dab the Great. Halo tutorial equals angry Afro-American woman yelling at you.
Well, I don't remember. I don't think I played it. Who plays a tutorial?
That was funny. It was just funny how that all came up. Shout out to the mods for holding things down. I see SPD Girl has left a member chat, but I can't see it on this. There we go. Member for 4 months. Oh, Jeremy, Krista, and Ryan, do you want me to Twitter DM you for tracking your boxes? Yes, if you don't mind, SPD Girl. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
She is awesome. SPD Girl is great. We appreciate her.
We got a couple things over here on Odyssey. Kentucky Life says crackers. I can only assume you're talking about Townhouse. Don't deplatform us. Abomination.
Did you have that set for that, or that just happened naturally?
I have crackers and I have squeezed peanut butter at all times here at this desk.
Why?
So I fucking eat them.
Oh, I didn't know.
Abomination with a little piece of candy. Thank you. Shady says GG. Richard E. Norma says Odyssey live streams do not work if you have private internet access, unfortunately. I'm not really sure. I know there's a lot of things in the work at Odyssey, obviously, when it comes to the Android app, when it comes to more streamlined stuff. So I'm sure it's on the way.
Well, yeah, Thomas actually commented too. Tom over at Library. So you can get to that one in a minute. So
there you go.
But he said it ran pretty smooth today. So
perfect. Mr. Ninja Bear says winning. Shady says, who's the girl in the stream? She isn't saying anything. Her name's Jeremy. He's talked way too much tonight. This is not a channel. It says at Disbrew. I've heard it's just another turn of the wheel. Different universe, has nothing to do with the books.
Oh, it's ridiculous. That doesn't even work because even on another turning of the wheel, the magic system would be the same and the rules of the world would be the same. Everything has changed. It's not just a wheel, it's an entirely different universe and IP with the same character names.
There you go. Raphael Bluefire says, hi, people. What's up?
Hello.
Abomination said, and thin Oreos are just Oreo flavored wafers. Yeah, I'm not as opposed to thin Oreos because like you very much understand what you're getting into. It's like oh, these are healthy cookies. No, they're fucking not. They're just, you're just gonna eat fucking more of them. But at least I understand what people are going with that. Abomination said maybe G&G can revive Titanfall 2 someday. Maybe. I don't know if we have the power.
If I ever get in a position, that will be one of the top priorities right there. I would rather save Titanfall than Star Wars because at least Titanfall deserves to be saved. Fuck Lucasfilm.
Abomination said, are there 3 woke Spider-Men? I know there's Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen. What if the movie is nostalgia bait and Toby, Andrew, Tom, Spider-Man all fail and the world is saved by those 3 Spider-Men? I don't think it's happening. Listen, the Miles stuff, I'm pretty convinced if Miles was in this movie, we would have heard about it actually. Like, there'd probably be a screenshot and there'd probably be a bunch of people on Reddit and stuff like that talking about it. But yeah, since there's not. Yeah, that's my feelings.
I tend to agree with you. Samurai Vader for $1 on the Streamlabs side says, since you guys closed the Monday Mario Kart game, my only regret is not having Tom Brady me to mess with Uche. Also, have any of you spoken of Totally Not Mark having 100 videos removed? Fuck Toei. Oh, you talking about
the toy animation copyright claimed a shit ton of stuff.
I was really happy that PewDiePie covered that. I was really happy. So because that was a massive signal boost. I don't know if that's helped him in terms of getting any of that stuff dealt with, but obviously having PewDiePie signal boost your problem is about as good of a blessing as you can have on this platform. So that was good. I watched that video and it was awful. And I feel him. I feel his pain because it kind of just lets you, it doesn't really matter. Like, I think a lot of times, like the world we're in, this whole, culture war bullshit, I think we kind of often think like, man, it's tough to be in this world because we never know what's going to happen on our channel. I think every creator deals with this shit. You know what I mean? I think every creator has to live with that stress because there's no communication from YouTube. There's a lot of companies that abuse the copyright system and it sucks. It really does. So I'm hoping he gets everything worked out, but we all as creators, we know how stressful it is. It is trash, dude. It really is. So it's very frustrating.
Matthew Levesque says, rough ETA when we can expect the Rippaverse. I need to get my first prints early next year. Or early next year, I believe. We don't have a hard date from what I understand, but I believe probably January, February time frame is when Rippa expects to start to launch. And he's going to be delivering not too long after that. That's his goal. He doesn't want to sit there for a year and a half without fulfilling. He wants to launch when he's ready to roll. So,
Yep.
JM, the elite fan, said, I'm glad my broke ass can finally support you guys. Kudos to Odyssey for allowing a way to support creators without using actual money. Thanks for everything, all you do. Once I finish my novel, I hope to contact you guys to become a writer for the G&G website.
Hell yeah.
You can contact us now.
Yeah, pretty soon. I'd say if I can be Krista, you gotta make sure you make sure I do this. But I'd like to go ahead and get an application link for contributors to the website. Have that in set up for Tuesday night's main event next week. That way you guys can go ahead because we do need some writers. We need to bring some writers on, and I want volume. I want us to cover a lot of different topics. Our editors can handle it, so it's just a matter of getting that done. So hopefully by next week I'll have that all set up for you. PM Marksman says for 3 says never will get to face off against Jeremy so he can feel these nuts on his face. Get out of here with that 100 score average. Scorch mains score 200 plus points easily. Most toxic and skilled players, and proud to be one. Now you will never get on our level, RIP. I'm assuming that would be Titanfall. But it's easy to talk shit when there's no game to play. But if we can revive it one day, I'm going to have my above average nuts on your face. Prepare for Jeremy fall, because that's what's going to happen. And then Marksman, Hunt Showdown is getting a live action adaptation being done by a new up and coming streaming service called Binge. Don't see the service succeeding, but we might get a few interesting shows at the start. Also, Hunt starting their Christmas event. Let's go. Hunt Showdown is something we've been told over and over again. I don't know if it's my type of game, but Disbrew, do you know anything about it?
It's quite hardcore. It's not quite as bad as Escape from Tarkov, from what I've heard from Death and everything. But everyone seems to love the game. The issue I think it is getting into a game like that and learning it will take quite a while. So I don't think it's something you can like pick up once. But it's probably worth it. It's not a game that I've always intended to get into and just never got around to. So
I hear you. Bronx Slayer says for 5 says Netflix never learned from what they did to Death Note. Now One Piece and Yu is going to get massively roasted and demolished. If Netflix makes Dragon Ball, I can see people trying to burn down Netflix headquarters. I mean, Dragon Ball already had that live action remake, which is
Garbage.
I haven't seen it, but I saw some clips you showed me, Krista, and I couldn't believe how bad. Like, it makes The Last Jedi look like a masterpiece. That's how bad that Dragon Ball Evolution was. My God.
It's universally hated. It's so awful.
I'm not even. I'm not
Goku.
Gohan's not.
Ryan.
Yeah, it's
Piccolo.
Goku. Yeah, King
Ryan,
Piccolo.
Raleigh.
Ryan's
No.
just naming off.
He's not. No.
That's
he's
my
not-
knowledge base right
They're
there.
not in it.
that was it.
Yeah,
I've
so
never seen a single episode of Dragon Ball.
I've
Mm.
seen quite a bit. So
You see-
It's too much of it. I like if I
It's
wanted to get into
overwhelming.
it, there's
It's
too
overwhelming.
fucking much of it at this point. It's not something I'll ever be able to get into. So
it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming.
I don't have enough time to watch that shit.
We have we have Dragon Ball chick though, Krista Nova, who she pointed me in the right direction. So it's a lot
Yeah.
though. It's a lot.
Mhm.
So for all of your anime needs, go check out Dragon Ball chick,
Thank you.
Krista Nova's anime channel. that she
Thomas
never
over
uploads to, so.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Thomas over on Odyssey. What's up, Tom? For 500 library says, hope the stream's been smooth today. I've had it up. I haven't really seen any.
I haven't
issues,
seen one issue.
so-
I've had it up the whole time. We've been maintaining about 70 viewers the whole time. We got 56 right now. So shout out to all of you guys that have been tuning in on Odyssey and supporting us over there. We love Odyssey. I think they're doing a fantastic job. And, the future's bright when you have people creating alternate platforms for us. And if people want to go support us over there, we greatly appreciate that. Obviously, you're welcome to watch us wherever you want. But we're really happy with what Odyssey's bringing to the table. And the stream, to me, has seemed like it's ran pretty smooth. From the Odyssey perspective, you guys can comment in the comments over there on Odyssey. The Odyssey
it
team
looks
is
good.
watching. And so you guys give them the feedback they need, because that's one thing that they do. They listen, and they're there to take the feedback in. That's all you can ask for, is for somebody to listen. That's it. So
Abomination for 5. We already saw Jeremy fall in that Mario Kart intro video while Jeremy dressed up as Mario and danced on the chair and fell.
what did he say? We saw it? Is that what he
We
said?
saw
yeah.
saw Jeremy fall.
Ah,
you
Jeremy
bragging about
fall.
Titanfall's
Yeah,
Jeremy
yeah,
fall.
yeah. I did fall.
That's a better combination than the one that DSP recently made. I don't know if you've been watching that.
I have not. No.
Oh,
you're a
man.
DSP maniac, dude.
I can't stop watching. Mamology's main channel is old fucking news. All I watch is Mamology, or is DSP Tries It. Mamology's DSP channel.
Samurai Vader says, I was close to getting a limited edition Halo Series X, but GameStop refused to process my payment until it sold out. Also, Jeremy, when are you playing Team Fortress 2? I never got into Team Fortress 2. So I owned the Orange Box, which, if people don't know what the Orange Box is, was Half-Life 2 with Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and 2, Team Fortress and Portal. And that was the best deal in history of gaming. You know what I mean? Like, that was incredible. To me, Half-Life 2 is it's definitely one of the best games I've ever played, if not the best game I've ever played. And that's including Episode 1 and 2. That game is timeless, and it's ahead of its time, and it holds up still to this day. So if you haven't played Half-Life 2, I would definitely check that out. Team Fortress is just something that was part of that. I just never fully got into it because I was so into Half-Life 2. So is it still a thing? Is it still up and running?
Oh, it's massively popular. It's
Really?
It's still up there as one of the highest played games on Steam. It just never
Really?
goes down. It's like CS:GO. It just never dies.
Wow. Okay.
It's
Maybe
a
I'll have
great
to look into
game.
it.
It's just I only put so many hours into it, and then it's like it never changes. It doesn't really get new content and everything. It's still got the same class as it always did. So for me, it was just the repetitiveness that got to me. But it is a great game.
Okay. Interesting. All right, Ryan.
We're all
Is that
caught
it?
up over
Oh,
there.
Are
Yeah.
we? Okay. We got one more. I got Stephanie.
Oh, did she just put one in? We were all caught up. Hold on.
She just won.
Oh, Steph for $5 says, can Ryan make all the faces OG my super stickers, please? I'll send another $5 if Disbrew joins. Thanks. I mean, on your my
What am I supposed
make
to
all
be
the
doing?
faces on my super stickers.
Chaos.
What does that even mean? Are you drunk? What the fuck does that mean?
Chaos always says, Jeremy, check out Yu Hakusho. It's a classic. Are we getting into the anime stuff that I can't read? I like when Gary has to read them. That's the best. Mike Hill is a member for 10 months. Michael has become a new member. Thank you for becoming a new member. Retro Meister, sub Jeremy and crew. Huge fans of 90s Spider-Man and X-Men. Over this woke Marvel BS, I recently made a meme about the disastrous Star Wars ride, but is also about Netflix ruining another popular IP. Yeah, I mean, if there's a person watching the stream that has not seen X-Men the animated series, as soon as this is done, go watch X-Men the animated series. It is so good. It will never be old. It will never not be amazing. So yeah, and same with 90s Spider-Man, and even Superman the animated series, Batman the animated series.
I understand what's going on now. Steph's
What?
put a bunch of super stickers in the YouTube chat.
Oh yeah, there they are, 99-cent ones, 4 of them. But what's the problem? Oh, there's the.
She wants me to make the faces of those.
You said, "Are you drunk?"
Well, yeah, like I didn't understand what that was fucking talking about.
Okay, that was good. That was good. All right,
Can't even
Larry,
see
Larry,
'em.
Larry, Hale, Steph, Krista, Tugs, Ryan, Jeremy, and Drunk.
Beep.
Not Disparu? Not Disparu, Larry? Just messing with me. All right, Ryan, you got it?
Yeah, I guess the first one's a little guy with his eyes and his mouth's open with like drool coming out of his
Drool?
mouth. He's like,
Hang on. We gotta go
no.
She has to get really good.
Not for $5
Oh.
My nerdy for another one, it's like a guy who looks, he's like sweating, he looks concerned, he's like another one
be used for me.
another one is a
We
guy,
gotta do this
his
for your
head's-
thumbnails, Jeremy.
his head is like, the top of his head's like blue, he looks maybe scared, he's like another one, the jaws just dropped like I don't know, like
That's gonna have a dildo in your mouth.
I don't even understand what this one is. It looks like he's throwing up or something, but his eyes are crooked. It looks like
Do it.
if looks like if Forrest Whitaker threw up, that'd be the super sticker. Like, I don't know.
Oh god.
Ugh.
All right, that was good. Okay,
And I just
so
I
go
just
ahead.
checked the stats, and Team Fortress 2 at the moment is the 8th most played game on Steam right
What
now.
the fuck? That's
Yeah, it's
crazy. I
never
had
gone
no
down in
idea.
popularity.
I had no idea it was still that popular. That's crazy. So I didn't, because any streamer that knows what they're doing never does this until the end. So I'll do it at the end because I didn't want to highlight it that it happened. If you are trying to stay away from spoilers in Spider-Man, stay off the internet, because we had someone super chat all the spoilers. I deleted it the moment I saw it. It was a super chat. I'm spoiled now because I had to read it. Stay off the internet if you don't want to be spoiled, because
Yes.
it's going to happen. You can try to be the holier than thou person. Go, guys, let's be better and not post. Motherfuckers are going to post spoilers. Okay, that's what the internet does. It ain't going to change by you virtue signaling. Motherfuckers are going to post spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, stay off the internet, because people are going to do it. I'm just giving you the heads up as respect for the audience. So
Don't expect anyone else to have the courtesy to not spoil you. Like,
Yeah.
if it's that fucking important to you, you got to sacrifice something for it. Ain't nobody else sacrificing talking about it or whatever. We do the best we can because we have respect for the audience that's tuning in. We're not just gonna sit here and spew them out. And if we do talk about it, we'll probably put a spoiler warning or something at some point. But that's just the way it is. That's the culture we live in today. When like the prequels were coming out, they would like put out the novelization like 2 weeks before the movie came out.
Yeah.
The Revenge of the Sith video game came out a week or two before the movie released in theaters. But it's just a different culture nowadays. So
Yeah. Yep. So it is what it is. So be careful if you don't want to be spoiled. If you don't care about being spoiled, fuck it. And if you're the spoilers, fuck it. Do your thing. Whatever. I didn't want the audience spoiled because, you know, I'm sure most people don't want to be spoiled on it. So
Cleveland's right. Cleveland's right.
He is right about that. Well, I mean, I said it earlier when I was responding to Vito. I was like, that's what Nick Rekieta taught me. He is the king grifter. I mean, when you pull 100K on a live stream, you are the king grifter. I offer him that title. I can't compete with that. Okay, so great episode of Tuesday night's main event. It was a pleasure having Disparu on. I didn't check George's to see where he's at, but 2 channels, please go check out George the Giant Slayer and Tommytron TV, or actually 3, and Disparu, of course, because Disparu, where are you at?
Yep, Disparu on YouTube. Currently, there's been a load of Wheel of Time stuff, but as I get free up time now, getting closer to Christmas, I can get back to more of a mix of things. But yeah, those are very, very long, accurate, detailed rants about exactly how trash that show is. So if that interests you, you know where to find it.
Hell yeah, Disparu's a great guy. So make sure you guys subscribe to Disparu. I want to get Tommytron TV over 1,000 subs. I think he's at like 800. Tommy seriously makes awesome content, and he puts a lot into it. If you're into retro collecting, Tommy is a wealth of knowledge from a retro collector standpoint. And then obviously George the Giant Slayer, who supports the fuck out of us, and I want everybody to go support him. So that's it. And so Ryan, anything coming up?
I don't know. I'm slowly releasing about fucking 18 videos that I've had waiting to be monetized for like 3 days, so they're all old news, but whatever. Fuck
Ryan's
off,
going to
YouTube.
beat me to 100K. Okay, it's gonna happen.
We'll
I've
see.
accepted
It's
it. I've
definitely
accepted
slowed down a little bit here, but
dude, I've released 3 videos a day. None of them have hit 10,000 views. None of them.
well, that's just sad, and you suck.
That's
But
bad.
mine aren't doing that well either. Mine aren't doing well either, though.
Every video I have uploaded today is tracked like bottom tier, including my Geeks
Mine-
Gamers video. The algorithm totally shifted. Totally.
Mine as well on all the channels other than the Bubba Wallace story on Sports Wars, which still didn't get as much traction as it normally would have. But all the stuff on Sports Wars has been the same way. I think there's just me and Jeremy actually were talking because we saw something happen on the back end of YouTube today. And we usually when that happens, it means they're messing with stuff. And sometimes that can just mean a day or two, little bump in the road. Sometimes it just means you're fucked for a month or two. It just depends. But we'll figure it out. We always do.
But you got to work through it. I mean, I'll never forget Ryan 3 months ago. He was frustrated with his views. And he was like, now he's killing it, but he can't get the monetization, but his views are out of this world, but can't get the monetization. I'm going through the fact that I'm getting monetized immediately, but the algorithm's not picking me up. Everybody deals with shit on this platform, and you just gotta work through it. You gotta work through it, and that's the test of it right there. So Krista Nova,
Yee.
what are you doing, Krista?
Right now,
Yes.
I'm eating popcorn.
Look at this shit.
What the fuck? That's awful. Oh my god, that is terrible. Are you
I had
responsible for
nothing-
this one?
Yeah. I was gonna say I have nothing to do with the photo of you edited.
That is so fucking bad.
Twins.
At least I'm blended in there.
Mine's,
tried-
mine is like they're actively like it's actively bad. I actually I appreciate the fact that you obviously can't tell. Like it looks like they just slapped Jeremy's face on.
Yeah.
Like, it actually looks like Ryan.
Ryan
like-
looks real.
I think that was Perry Chan. Maybe, but
Oh, man.
this is Amy Pascal, right? And she looked like coked out of her mind next to Kevin Feige in that video. I'm pretty
Holy
shit.
shit.
Pretty
Oh
sure.
boy. Oh,
There's like
boy.
huge chunks out of your face on the left as well. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I put out one thing. I put out JT Gunter made me an awesome RK Nation logo. I put out some new merch on my TeePublic store. It looks sharp as fuck. So I think I'm gonna try to do some more stuff with that Shield logo. So
Hell yeah.
go check
Hell
that
yeah.
out.
All right, everybody. Disparu, it was awesome having you on, buddy.
Oh,
Shout out
pleasure
to Upper Echelon. It was a pleasure having him. Love his channel. Love everything he's doing. Obviously had Ripa here, Krista, Ryan, and myself. Thank you guys for another amazing Tuesday night's main event. We maintained 1,000 people all night. We were at like 1,600 or 1,700 people peak. So another successful stream. Shout out to the Odyssey side of things. Appreciate you guys doing that. And other than that, you guys have a good night, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
And